Fong is a famous cartoonist deceived by his company and wants to find a powerful lawyer to fight against them. He finds the perfect person for that job, but the only problem is that the lawyer doesn't want to get paid through money and would prefer if Fong obeyed his special requests instead. A handsome man is rushing through an empty corridor of a company as he angrily calls someone named Han Chuan, a beauty in the first scene. I'm sure this plot will be amazing. He harshly pushes open a door and confronts Chuan about not giving him the royalties. Inside the room, Chuan, who looks like a middle-aged man, is calmly sipping on his tea and tells the handsome man to calm down and sit so they can have a chat. His calm attitude doesn't affect the handsome man, who is still angry and shouts that they must give him royalties if they want to sell his comics to film and media companies. To strengthen his argument, the young man threatens not to recompose his work. Chuan reminds the young man, Fong, that the contract he signed clearly states that all rights to his work belong to the company. Fong gets upset, realizing that the company will not agree to give him royalties for his work. He decides to leave, telling Chuan that he will see them in court. Chuan calls after him, saying he will not get any help, but Fong ignores him and leaves the room. Even though he is utterly disgusted by the company's behavior and acted tough in front of them, he is still worried about the situation. Fong cannot afford to hire a lawyer. Doing so means he will have to live on instant noodles. Seriously. What's with artists constantly struggling with this kind of story? He suddenly sees a board notification of his comics turning into a movie, renewing his motivation to fight against the company, even if he has to eat noodles, without wasting any time. Fong visits a law firm and becomes disappointed when the woman there tells him it will be tough for them to win the case against the Silverfish Company. Fong is confused and asks them if it is because of some imparity clause and default operation legal in the contract. The woman explains to him that the contract clearly states that all rights to his work are in the hands of Silverfish. The company might invite the famous lawyer Chi Anmo to defend them, which will only make the situation worse for him. Fong knows that Chi Anmo is a gold lawyer who hardly loses a case. What disappoints him more is the fact that such a lawyer is helping an evil company. Concluding that Chi Anmo must be evil after all, Fong plans to beat him up if he ever sees the man. Surprisingly, when he passes a cafe, he spots Chi Anmo sitting inside, calmly sipping his coffee. I'm excited for this first meeting. Let's go. Fong is furious at the lawyer for enjoying his time compared to him, who is in a tense situation. Without much thought, Fong barges inside the cafe. He calls Chi Anmo, and when the lawyer looks up, Fong throws the coffee at his face, shocking everyone, including himself. Oh, our little cutie is very feisty. Chi Anmo gives him a death glare, which almost scares Fong. But instead of backing away, Fong decides to take a defensive stance. He shouts at Chi Anmo, confronting him about his low moral values for defending an evil company. Chi Anmo stares at him coldly and asks if he looks like someone who cares about his moral values. Fong angrily shouts at Chi Anmo, saying that he has never met a shameless lawyer like him, and that his fame is not something so great. Chi Anmo remains calm as he replies that his fame is the reason why he is so successful, and Fong can't even afford his fees. I swear, when the other person in the argument is calm, it is the most infuriating thing. Chi Anmo continues to provoke Fong, asking how his fans will feel when they find out he signed an unfair contract. Hearing the bitter truth from Chi Anmo, Fong is caught off guard and admits that he was stupid to sign that contract. But Fong refuses to bend over and tries to project all this on Chi Anmo instead, saying he should have more conscience as a lawyer. Chi Anmo just chuckles in return and stands up, saying that such provocation will not work on him and that Fong should beg for forgiveness instead. Fong is dazed seeing how tall the lawyer is. Chi Anmo says he will consider helping Fong if he apologizes and begs for it. Fong is just like me, forgetting all arguments when someone tall and handsome stands before me. Fong just grows agitated in return and says he will find another lawyer instead, not believing that Chi Anmo is his only choice. He then leaves from there, while Chi Anmo just stands there silently. The waiters who were watching the scene unfold in front of them are now worried about Chi Anmo's temper. They try to calm him by saying Fong is ignorant, and they all know Chi Anmo is a good lawyer. Chi Anmo just smirks in return and says that he is sure Fong will soon come and beg him. This lawyer sure has a rare taste. He's probably a S. Sometime later, Fong is sitting on a bench in the park, exhausted and worried about how he visited all the law firms in the city, unable to find a lawyer willing to help him. He gets more worried knowing that the hearing will take place in a month. He is forced to wonder if Chi Anmo is the only one who can truly help him. He quickly dismisses his idea, not wanting to see Chi Anmo's smug face when he goes back to him. He tries to comfort himself by thinking there is no guarantee that Chi Anmo will help him even when he goes and begs for his forgiveness. Even if his concerns are simply that, concerns, it doesn't change the fact that Fong has no way of contacting the lawyer. Just when he is thinking about all this, his phone starts ringing, startling him badly. Fong is surprised to see the unknown number and picks up the call, only to find that it is Chi Anmo on the other end. Feels like their souls are already connected. Surprised, Fong asks Chi Anmo how he found his number, but Chi Anmo dismisses the question, saying that the only important thing right now is Fong's decision. Left with no other choice, the artist politely asks Chi Anmo if he will help him. The lawyer replies that he never goes back on what he said and will only help Fong if he begs him. The statement infuriates Fong, but he buries his anger and begs Chi Anmo for help. Chi Anmo replies that he wants to hear it in person and hangs up the call. Fong is puzzled, but his confusion soon turns into shock when a car suddenly stops before him. Chi Anmo gets out of the vehicle and stands in front of Fong, asking the artist to repeat his apology. Even though he can hardly control his anger, Fong manages to beg Chi Anmo for help, utterly embarrassed by the situation. Chi Anmo holds Fong's chin with his fingers and forces him to look up. With a smug smile, Chi Anmo asks if the other can even afford his expensive fees. This angers Fong, but he is completely surprised when Chi Anmo suddenly grabs his waist and pulls him closer. Their bodies are pressed together as Chi Anmo asks Fong not to be angry, saying he still has something else to say. Fong is speechless when Chi Anmo tells him he can choose another payment method instead of money. Fast forward to how our little cutie can pay. Chi Anmo explains that his ex-boyfriend is hosting a banquet. As for the payment, he wants Fong to attend the banquet with him as his partner. From the entire conversation, Fong is more shocked to find that Chi Anmo is gay. Even though he finds it really strange that Fong is more focused on that, Chi Anmo confirms that he is gay and asks Fong about his sexuality. Fong quickly replies that he's not gay. Still, when he remembers a boy confessing his feelings for him, Fong becomes confused about his preferences. Chi Anmo is amused by this situation as he leans closer to Fong and suggests that he can help him figure out his sexuality. Chi Anmo is really sus. Fong quickly pushes Chi Anmo away from him, saying he doesn't need that. He changes the topic by agreeing to attend the banquet in return for getting help from Chi Anmo in his lawsuit. Not long after, the two attend the banquet together. Fong is surprised to see the giant villa in front of him. Fong just sits in the car, thinking how it feels like he doesn't belong in such a luxurious place. He comes out of his thoughts when Chi Anmo tells him to get out of his car. Sensing that Fong is nervous, Chi Anmo offers him his hand, assuring him they are together so Fong doesn't have to worry. The sweet action from the lawyer changes Fong's perception of him a little as he holds the hand extended toward him. They enter the hall together, instantly starting the whispers around the hall. Fong hears someone talking about how Chi Anmo brought another man after a small argument with Bo Wen. Fong is surprised to find that Bo Wen is Chi Anmo's ex, but before he can ask something about it, Bo Wen approaches them. Chi Anmo grips Fong's hand as he greets his ex-boyfriend. Chi Anmo introduces them to each other as he pulls Fong closer by his waist, making him the direct target of Bo Wen's furious glares. I can already tell that this person will create problems in the future. He looks petty, feeling really awkward about the situation. Fong tries to be friendly and raises his hand to greet Bo Wen. As expected, Bo Wen ignores his hand and instead tells Chi Anmo how his taste changed after they broke up. Chi Anmo rests his chin on Fong's shoulder and replies that his taste has indeed changed. Chi Anmo claims that he now prefers the cute and sweet type. Fong is embarrassed by all the touching but decides to endure it for the sake of the lawsuit. Suddenly, Fong's stomach growls out loud, causing him to get more embarrassed. Chi Anmo just pats his head softly, asks him to stay there while he goes, and brings him some food. Fong innocently accepts the order while internally seething with anger. He stops glaring at Chi Anmo's back when Bo Wen calls him and asks if he really thinks Chi Anmo likes him. Bo Wen sharply asks Fong if he has been dating Chi Anmo for over a month now. Fong nervously takes a step back as he answers that it is almost a month now. Fong is more shocked when Bo Wen suggestively asks him where Chi Anmo likes to do it the most. He starts thinking about how he can know this distinctive information. Oblivious to his thoughts, Bo Wen continues that he has been dating Chi Anmo since they were in university. Even though they have fought and gotten back together many times, there's no way a nobody can just ruin their relationship. Fong is angry at being called nobody but doesn't say anything in reply. Bo Wen threatens Fong, who just can't understand the hostile behavior he is facing from Chi Anmo's ex. Bo Wen's attitude instantly changes as he politely smiles at Chi Anmo, who has returned. Chi Anmo gives Fong his favorite chocolate dessert, which he happily starts to eat. He has to stop when he notices Bo Wen's cold stares and quickly hides behind Chi Anmo. Just then, a man approaches Bo Wen and asks him for a dance. He looks back at Chi Anmo and is angry when he sees the lawyer entirely focused on Fong. Sorry, Bo Wen. Our little artist has that charm. Bo Wen finally leaves while Fong tells Chi Anmo that his ex was looking at him before leaving. He's surprised when Chi Anmo says that he is aware of the looks, so Fong asks why Chi Anmo didn't stop Bo Wen. Chi Anmo just coldly replies that he broke up with Bo Wen a long time ago. Fong silently looks down at the desert, thinking that it seems like the couple has gone through a bad breakup. He comes out of his thoughts when Chi Anmo asks him why he looks confident in front of him and doesn't do anything when Bo Wen is bullying him. Fong sheepishly replies that he doesn't want to get in any trouble when he is just pretending to be Chi Anmo's significant other. He is happy that Chi Anmo bought his excuse, not wanting the lawyer to know that he was actually just pretending to be bold in front of him. Fong quickly excuses himself for the bathroom and leaves. Chi Anmo is left standing there, surprised at how Fong looked comfortable in that bizarre situation. He keeps thinking about how Fong has an innocent face that makes people want to love him. Deep in his thoughts, Chi Anmo is calmly sipping on his drink, oblivious to how Bo Wen stares at him, determined not to let Chi Anmo go to someone else. After washing, Fong comes out of the bathroom with automatic doors. He thinks about how it will give him so much drawing material if he can take pictures of that luxurious toilet. Funny how others are plotting against him while here he is, completely focused on other things. He stops in his tracks when he notices Chi Anmo and Bo Wen standing very close to each other. Fong is startled when he sees Bo Wen leaning closer to Chi Anmo, and his first thought is that they are trying to get back together. In the hall, Chi Anmo pushes Bo Wen away from him, warning him to stay away. Bo Wen is shocked by this and shares how he wishes to get back together with Chi Anmo. Just then, he notices Fong listening to their conversation and asks Chi Anmo if he really needs to insult him like that. Despite the accusation, Chi Anmo calmly replies that he is not offending anyone and wants Bo Wen to stay away so his lover cannot get the wrong idea about them. Fong is annoyed to be part of the conversation and just wants to sneak away. But it doesn't work as Chi Anmo gestures for him to come closer. He is angry at the gesture for a moment but quickly gives up resistance when Chi Anmo threatens him about the lawsuit. Fong Gus slowly walks to them and Chi Anmo quickly attaches himself to Fong's back. Fong wants to say something to Chi Anmo for being clingy, but stops when he notices that Chi Anmo's face is really pink. He thinks that the other must be sick, but Chi Anmo figures out that someone must have spiked his drink. Chi Anmo asks Fong to help him get out of there. Despite his condition, Chi Anmo manages to drive a few miles and tells Fong that this is as far as he can go. He tells Fong to get back using a cab, but Fong is still worried and stares at Chi Anmo. Fong tries to touch Chi Anmo's forehead, asking if he is sick, but Chi Anmo slaps his hands away and rudely tells him to get out of the car. Fong is momentarily speechless but then angrily shouts at Chi Anmo about how he doesn't need to care about him. He gets scared when Chi Anmo glares at him and quickly makes an excuse that he is worried about his lawsuit if something happens to his lawyer. His statement seems to give Chi Anmo an idea, as he smirks and asks Fong that he will do anything as long as he wins his case. Someone please save innocent Fong from this cunning lawyer. Fong is slightly surprised to hear that Chi Anmo wants something else, even though he already joined him at the banquet. Before Fong can get any answer, Chi Anmo pushes back his seat and leans over him. Chi Anmo then says that going to the banquet is not enough as payment. Chi Anmo adds how Fong cannot object. Fong is shocked as Chi Anmo starts to explore every part of him. He just lies there with his abs on display, silently accepting that he cannot escape this situation now. Now then, go ahead and use your imagination for the rest of the scene. Clothes lay askew on the floor of the bedroom. When Fong wakes up, he realizes he feels hurt and sore in certain places. He doesn't understand the situation at first, but then he realizes that he is basically in his birth suit under the sheets. A vivid image of Chi Anmo comes to his mind, confirming his suspicions that he indeed did it with his lawyer last night. Fong is totally devastated by the situation and is throwing a small tantrum when he notices a paper on the side table. He quickly picks it up, only to find that it is a note from Chi Anmo, who asked him to rest, assuring him that he would take care of his lawsuit. Fong is furious by the situation of this payment. He doesn't want to use his body, no matter how desperate he is. He keeps thinking about how Chi Anmo must look down on him, and his hatred for the lawyer ignites. With only a day left before the trial, Fong has spent the previous days completely locked in his apartment playing video games. He takes a short break to eat something and regretfully thinks about how he shouldn't be impulsive. Just then, his phone starts ringing, indicating a call from someone named Ren Jia. He picks up the call and keeps it away from his ear when the woman from the other end shouts at him for not telling her about what the company did to him. When the other stops ranting, Fong politely asks her how she knows about it when she is studying abroad. Ren Jia replies that she found it through social media, where his fans are running campaigns for him. She scolds him for changing the topic and asks if he wants her help finding a suitable lawyer for his lawsuit. Fong is still a little scared as he tells her that he has already found a lawyer. Ren Jia is still worried about him, for she knows that the company is very cunning, especially when copyright is involved. Despite his ill feelings toward Chi Anmo, Fong assures Ren that the person he found for the lawsuit has a high winning streak. Ren finally calms down and tells him to inform her about the lawsuit's results, for she cannot travel back yet. She then hangs up the call but still worries that Fong is being cheated, not understanding how a person like him can afford a good lawyer. Just then, a girl comes from behind and hugs her, asking Ren why she is in a bad mood. "Oh, a second couple. I will happily accept as many cute couples as the writer will give us." Ren replies that her friend got into a problem and she has to return home early. The woman is unhappy with how Ren has to return and asks if this is a special friend. Ren pushes her away at the question, saying that it is her personal matter, which she cannot share with her. Meanwhile, Fang is lying in bed as he goes through social media accounts and is happy to see the majority of his fans supporting him. He suddenly remembers how Chi Anmo didn't contact him after that day and is worried if the lawyer will even keep his promise. He thinks about contacting Chi Anmo, but before he can go through with that plan, he falls asleep. The following day, Fong wakes up to the ringing of his doorbell and is startled to see that he has overslept. He starts to panic when he realizes that his trial is in an hour. Fong slowly gets up to open the door, irritated by a guest coming at such a crucial time. He is surprised to see Chi Anmo at the door and instantly asks why he is there. Chi Anmo replies that he came to pick up his client and voices his suspicion that Fong has forgotten about the lawsuit. Fong quickly defends himself, denying the allegation from the lawyer as his face heats up due to embarrassment. Suddenly, Chi Anmo grabs his chin, asking him if he is still dressed that way because he knows that Chi Anmo is coming to pick him up. It seems like Chi Anmo is taking advantage of Fong, but we can't really be angry with this handsome lawyer. Fong is flustered by the action as he slaps Chi Anmo's hand away, quickly explaining that he just overslept a little. He tells Chi Anmo to wait for him as he gets changed and slams his door shut. Fong leans against the door, thinking about how his chin feels hot due to Chi Anmo's touch. The situation gives him some very graphic memories from his night with the lawyer, which he desperately tries to forget. After the hearing, Fong is impressed by Chi Anmo's talent in court despite his stubborn personality in the outside world. While walking out with Chi Anmo, he reminisces about how it felt really great when Chuan got embarrassed in court. Before they can go further, Chuan comes running and offers Chi Anmo to pay double whatever Fong is paying him if he joins him instead. This old man with his infuriating face. Fong is shocked at the old man's audacity and calls him out for bribing the lawyer in front of the court. Chuan is not bothered by him, as he replies that he is doing this because he can afford it. Chuan continues that a person like Fong cannot compete with him, reminding the little artist that Chuan himself, was the one who helped him get out of poverty. Chuan's harsh words hit Fong hard, and he just stood there dejectedly, not noticing Chi Anmo's sharp stare at him. Chuan soon walks away while Chi Anmo asks Fong why he still looks sad even though he has already rejected Chuan's offer. Fong keeps looking down sadly as he asks Chi Anmo if he wants to know about what Chuan just said. Chi Anmo replies that there is nothing for him to ask, and Chuan is just being a fool. Fong politely says that Chuan actually helped him back then, and he decides to share his story. He tells Chi Anmo that a few years ago, he ran away from his house empty-handed after a fight with his parents. At that time, Chuan gave him his first salary, and if things hadn't gotten terrible, Fong wouldn't have had to end their relationship on bad terms. Upon hearing this, Chi Anmo stops in his tracks and softly rubs Fong's head, telling him how he has a substantial following on social media and will easily find a new publisher. Chi Anmo cannot help but notice how Fong's hair is very soft, just like his heart. I can already feel the love blooming. Fong pushes Shi Anmo's hand away, replying that he never thought about that, but now it is time for him to think about it carefully. He instantly starts thinking about what other company he can join. Shi Anmo starts the conversation again, mentioning the night they had spent together. Still, Fong immediately stops him, claiming he doesn't remember anything from that night. Shi Anmo agrees not to mention it again if Fong doesn't want it and says that he still needs Fong's help for something. He tells Fong how Bo Wen doesn't believe that he is in a relationship with Fong and keeps bothering him these days. Shi Anmo continues that Chuan is also very petty and will keep bothering Fong if he stays here, so he should join him on a trip to Bali. Fong sharply asks if Shi Anmo wants to use him to get rid of the trouble. Shi Anmo quickly replies that he is not heartless and that during the trip, he will pay for everything so Fong can relax and enjoy. Fong replies that despite the intriguing offer, he cannot accept it because he still has work. Fong moves to leave, thinking about how Shi Anmo's happy attitude makes him feel like he is taking advantage of the lawyer. But before Fong can do so, Shi Anmo stops him by holding his hand and requests that Fong at least join him for a meal. Shi Anmo blushes a little, asking Fong to take it as his reward for rejecting Chuan's bribe. Fong is surprised when, instead of taking him to a cafe, Shi Anmo brings him to a bar. He looks around carefully and figures that it must be a gay bar because all the couples there are men. Shi Anmo quickly defends himself, saying that he brought Fong here because he thinks that the food and environment in that place are excellent. Shi Anmo then chooses a drink, and Fong also makes peace with the situation, not wanting to change places again. Before they can order food, they are distracted by the sudden shouting. They quickly look back to find an old man holding his son by the collar and yelling at him for bringing shame to his name. The scene sends Fong back to his past, remembering his father yelling at him. He remembers his mother telling him to focus on his studies instead of other things, and he couldn't understand why his parents suddenly changed their supportive attitude toward him. To think that our innocent Fong must go through those things at a young age. Shi Anmo is carefully observing Fong, happy with how his expressions are worse than before. Just then, a waiter serves them food and drinks. Shi Anmo tries to warn Fong about strong drinks, but Fong just gulps down the glass in one go. He puts the glass down with his now red face and talks about how it tastes like orange juice. Shi Anmo silently observes him, easily figuring out that the argument a witness has upset Fong. Before he can dwell on it further, Fong starts speaking. Fong reveals how his best friend confessed to him when he was in his 3rd year of high school. At that time, Fong didn't understand his feelings and wanted to discuss them with his parents. He was shocked when, instead of supporting him, his parents put all the blame on his friend Kong Yun. This forced his friend to drop out of school. Fong's eyes fill with tears, remembering all this as he thinks it was all his fault. Shi Anmo instantly goes to his side and softly pats his head, comforting him by saying how it is all over now. Shi Anmo asks Fong if it will make him happy if he shares something more depressing from his life. Fong is confused by the strange statement, as Shi Anmo says that he should be pleased that his parents care for him in their own way, unlike his mother, who once tried to kill him. There is a loud bump when Fong wakes up the following day. He apparently fell to the ground while sleeping, and his face hurt from the fall. It makes him realize that everything from last night wasn't a dream. He instantly forgets his pain when he looks around and sees the ocean from the window. Shocked, he is trying to understand the situation when Shi Anmo comes there and asks him if he is this excited because they are in Bali. Waking up at a holiday destination would feel like a dream for anyone. Fong is dumbfounded by the situation as he confronts Shi Anmo about taking advantage of him when he is drunk. Suddenly remembering something, he asks Shi Anmo how he brought him here without a passport. Fong quickly walks backward as Shi Anmo approaches him, making him fall on the bed. Shi Anmo takes out his phone, saying that he recorded Fong last night as proof, and throws his phone at Fong, asking him to see for himself how he agreed to come to Bali. Fong stares at the screen, shocked as he sees himself crying and apologizing to Shi Anmo for going against him when his life is so miserable. Shi Anmo had again asked him to come to Bali, to which he happily agreed in his drunken state. Fong is wholly devastated at his point as Shi Anmo tells him that Fong brought him to his house last night so they could get his passport. Fong angrily punches Shi Anmo while thinking about how this story must have been a lie, so he shouldn't feel sorry for him. Shi Anmo throws his arm over Fong's shoulder, asking him not to be angry. Instead, Fong should take this as an opportunity to get inspiration for his art. Shi Anmo is satisfied when he notices that Fong is convinced by his argument and quickly starts talking about how there are a lot of attractions in Bali. Fong agrees to enjoy the vacation but announces that he will do it on 3 conditions. He stands up and tells Chi Anmo he can't touch him without permission. Chi Anmo agrees to get his consent first, as Fong warns him not to touch him all the time. He then walks away when Chi Anmo stops him, asking for the other 2 conditions, but Fong just says that he will tell them later and quickly leaves the room. When Fong turns to leave again, Chi Anmo notices the marks left on the other little artist's nape last night. Still, he is not worried about that because he touched Fong before he imposed those conditions. Lawyers and their loopholes. Later, they explore the city, and Fong is amazed by the unique architecture. He's really excited and runs around to take as many pictures as he can. While Fong is busy gathering inspiration for his art, Chi Anmo keeps staring at Fong's behind, thinking about how smooth the shape is. Control yourself, Chi Anmo. We know our Fong is breathtaking, but PDA is not appreciated. Looking at it makes Chi Anmo want to touch Fong, and he regrets not touching Fong more when he was drunk the other night. His attention is suddenly diverted when his phone buzzes in his pocket. Meanwhile, Fong is finally satisfied with the number of pictures he took and turns around to inform Chi Anmo about them. When he glances at Chi Anmo, he is mesmerized by the lawyer's crazy good looks. He is disappointed in himself for not noticing this first and keeps thinking about how Chi Anmo would be very popular if he appeared in a manga. Fong takes a picture of Chi Anmo but is startled when the other catches him in the act. Take a picture, for it lasts longer. Fong really is taking this saying literally. Fong quickly turns around, trying to find a way to escape this situation, as he is sure Chi Anmo will make fun of him. He can't escape in time as Chi Anmo gets closer and hooks an arm around his shoulder, ready to inquire about the picture. Chi Anmo starts to say something to Fong but stops suddenly when he notices someone else taking their pictures. Fong is confused by the sudden change of behavior and is more surprised when Chi Anmo starts to drag him in the opposite direction of the exit. Chi Anmo stops before a man holding a camera and asks him whose picture he took just now. The man calmly introduces himself as Ivan and tells them he is a photographer. Chi Anmo sharply replies that he is not interested in him and just wants to know about the picture he took just now. Ivan sheepishly shows them the picture he took just now in which Chi Anmo has his arm around Fong's shoulder as they look at each other. Ivan says Fong is very beautiful and seeing the two together is also very attractive, so he couldn't help but capture the moment. Fong is frantic to hear that and hurriedly tries to say they are not partners, but Chi Anmo stops him, threatening to kiss him if he keeps the act going. They are interrupted by Ivan, who asks them if he can keep their picture, but Chi Anmo instantly denies the request. Ivan argues that he is asking Fong, as he is also in the picture, but Chi Anmo sharply replies that it is also his decision and asks Ivan to delete the image. Fong is confused by Chi Anmo's behavior over a simple picture. He decides to jump into the situation and politely asks Ivan to delete the photo, saying that he even rarely takes pictures of himself as he is not very photogenic. Ivan seems very triggered as he talks about how Fong is very beautiful, claiming he is his muse. Oh, is this the appearance of a new rival? At this point, Chi Anmo is losing his patience as he sharply tells Ivan to delete the picture and respect their privacy. Ivan agrees to delete the image and turns toward his camera as Fong takes a peek at him from his hiding place behind Chi Anmo. Fong is thinking about how weird that person is when Ivan seems to notice his stare and asks if he wants to confirm that he deleted the picture. Before he can reply, Chi Anmo says they still have a lot of sightseeing to do and leads Fong away, telling Ivan that he hopes they don't meet again. As they leave, Ivan looks at a different picture of Fong in his camera and claims he will meet them again soon. A stalker, just what we needed during this season. Meanwhile, as the two walk away, Fong asks Chi Anmo why he was so hard on Ivan when the picture he captured was good. Chi Anmo facepalms at Fong's stupidity and asks him how he cannot notice Ivan's evil intentions toward him. Fong is taken aback by this claim, saying how it is unlikely that they only meet gay people even when they are in another country. He then continues that he is just an ordinary straight person, so it is impossible for another gay guy to like him. Aha, you're forgetting the existence of Kong Yuan and the guy before you right now. His rant stops when Chi Anmo suddenly holds his hand and says how Fong is oblivious to his charm. Fong is embarrassed and tries to deny it, but Chi Anmo takes another approach and asks him if he has never been praised for his looks in the past. Fong thinks about it hard and replies that it happened to him in the past, but ever since he started drawing, he hardly ever went out. Fong quickly says that it doesn't mean anything and asks Chi Anmo if all the gay guys are this shallow. Chi Anmo decides to drop the topic, not wanting to discuss other guys with Fong anymore. Chi Anmo continues that it doesn't matter that Ivan took good pictures. his skills still don't match Fong's. Fong is surprised that Chi Anmo remembers the picture even after the incident and quickly walks away. Chi Anmo shouts at him to send him a copy of the picture, but Fong argues that he only took photos of the scenery. Chi Anmo still doesn't back down, as he asks to check his phone instead, but Fong refuses to hand over his mobile. After sightseeing, they sit in a cafe eating their desserts, and Fong keeps on yawning. Chi Anmo notices this and asks him if he didn't sleep well the night before. Fong simply replies that he is used to staying up late while thinking about how it was because of being in the same place as Chi Anmo. Not for the reason you all are thinking. Last night, Fong feared that Chi Anmo would come barging into his room. Hence, he spent most of his night staring at the door. He keeps thinking about whether Chi Anmo went out at some point last night while absent-mindedly gazing at the lawyer. Chi Anmo notices his stare and asks if he wants to try the dessert. He doesn't give Fong any choice as he shoves the pudding just when he opens his mouth to say no. Chi Anmo asks Fong's opinion on his pudding and is amused when he complains about its lack of sugar. Chi Anmo is smiling at the fact that Fong is addicted to sweets when someone comes from behind and comments that it is rare to see Chi Anmo this happy. Chi Anmo quickly stands up, addressing the newcomer as an uncle, surprising Fong that he came to the place where his family is. Petitioned to have such a handsome uncle so we can inherit the good genes. The man tells them not to be so formal and to sit down, and he also joins them at the table. Chi Anmo asks his uncle if he has nothing else to do because he showed up so quickly, to which the man replies that they are all trivial matters. He instead talks about how Chi Anmo had told him a long time ago that he would bring someone with him, so he had to rush there. Fong just smiles awkwardly at the situation while thinking of Chi Anmo informing his uncle about this before. The man then purposely provokes Chi Anmo, asking him if the Zhuns are capable of fostering such a child. For those confused, Chi Anmo's ex is from the Zhang family. Chi Anmo is irritated by this statement as he reminds his uncle that he broke up with Bo Wen years ago. The man still doesn't leave the topic and asks Chi Anmo how Bo Wen let him go, as he's a very petty person. Chi Anmo stops his uncle from talking further on the subject, saying they didn't come there to discuss that. He finally introduces them, formally telling Fong that this person is his uncle, Qian Yan. Yan tells Fong to just call him uncle, as Chi Anmo introduces Fong as his boyfriend. Chi Anmo is annoyed when his uncle praises how polite Fong is and asks his uncle to keep his fantasies to himself. He then turns toward Fong and informs him that he must go somewhere with his uncle. He advises Fong to stay there and not run around. Fong is irritated by Chi Anmo treating him like a child but accepts the advice, losing to the handsome face of the other. After they leave, Fong sits there on his own, thinking about how Chi Anmo originally planned to bring Bo Wen there first. He comes out of his thoughts when a man suddenly approaches him. Fong recognizes the man as the photographer from before and is speechless when Ivan suddenly holds his hand, introducing himself again. Fong awkwardly smiles and pulls his hand away, quickly shifting to the other end of the booth. Fong can't understand if all the foreigners are this bold, and his uneasiness grows when Ivan sits beside him. Ivan breaks the silence as he asks Fong about Chi Anmo, to which Fong sheepishly replies that Chi Anmo has something else to do. Ivan suddenly caresses his cheek, asking him if he hadn't slept well the night before, seeing that there are dark circles under his eyes. Oh, his touch seems as creepy as his face. Fong is shocked by his audacity and slaps his hands away, not understanding what the photographer is trying to do. In his irritation, he pushes Ivan away, making the photographer fall down from the seat. Fong quickly stands up and rushes to help Ivan, apologizing for his behavior. He explains that he gets scared when people get close to him, but Ivan is not fazed as he accepts that it is his mistake. Fong asks him if he is all right, but instead of replying to his question, Ivan says he is there because he accidentally saw something last night. Fong is confused by the strange statement, and it just grows when Ivan holds his hand again. Ivan then takes out a picture, saying that even though it makes him look nosy, Fong has the right to see it. Fong is shocked to see Chi Anmo hugging Bo Wen in the picture and figures out that the timestamp matches the time Chi Anmo was outside last night. He is now sure that Chi Anmo went out last night to meet his ex, and Fong is furious for getting dragged into the middle of this. Ivan looks at him pitifully and apologizes for the situation, saying he knows that the Chinese are very loyal to their partners. Fong just keeps thinking about how he doesn't want to be in a relationship with that playboy. Ivan doesn't back down as he pats Fong's head, saying it is good he found out early. Just then, Chi Anmo returns, clearly unhappy with the scene before him. He quickly approaches the table, asking Ivan why he is there when he clearly warned him before not to follow them. Ivan coldly replies that Chi Anmo can't stop him from being friends with Fong, even if they are in a relationship. Chi Anmo is furious, but Ivan continues, saying Chi Anmo has the right to hate him, and then takes his leave. Before leaving, he whispers to Fong to talk to Chi Anmo and politely bids him goodbye. This guy is really sowing discord between the two. Chi Anmo softly caresses Fong's cheek and asks what Ivan told him to make him look so sad. My poor heart can't bear this sweet display of affection. To his surprise, Fong swats his hand away and asks him not to touch him. Fong continues that he doesn't want to extend their trip to Bali anymore and inquires when they can go back. Chi Anmo is confused and firmly says that he wants to know the reason for Fong's sudden change of mood. Fong angrily crumples the picture he's holding as he replies that he is being forced to stay there. He decides to face the situation and confronts Chi Anmo for meeting Bo Wen last night. Chi Anmo is momentarily confused by how Fong knows about that but figures out that the photographer must have told him. Fong continues that even though Chi Anmo acts like he is bothered by Bo Wen, it seems like he is happy to be in that situation. Chi Anmo is surprised by Fong's sudden rage and tells him to stay calm. Chi Anmo tries to explain his situation, but Fong stops him, saying that he doesn't want to listen to any explanation, and that he hates being cheated the most. Fong intends to leave the place, but Chi Anmo quickly grabs his wrists, stopping him from going. He asks Fong if he even knows his way around the city and repeats that things are not how he thinks. Chi Anmo seems amused by the intense reaction and asks Fong if he is perhaps jealous. The statement only infuriates Fong more as he sharply replies that he has no reason to be jealous and just feels pity for Bo Wen, who is in love with someone like Chi Anmo. Fong then asks Chi Anmo why he doesn't cherish Bo Wen, who even came to Bali to chase him. Chi Anmo just stares at him coldly, holding his wrist. With a sigh, he walks away without saying anything else. The strange reaction makes Fong wonder if he did something wrong. First couples fight. The next day, Chi Anmo meets his uncle Yan as they relax near the beach. Yan asks him about Fong, inquiring if they are fighting. Still, Chi Anmo stops him from asking more questions, saying he's already worked up. Yan instead asks him about Bo Wen, who chased him to Bali, but Chi Anmo gets angry and tells his uncle not to mention that disgusting name. Yan says they can talk about Fong instead and asks if Chi Anmo's little babe is jealous of the situation. Chi Anmo is irritated as he replies that Fong is not jealous. Instead, Fong believes that Chi Anmo cheated on him and won't listen to any kind of explanation. While listening to the situation, Yan says that Chi Anmo still can't leave Fong in the hotel like that and excitedly says he will give his nephews some fantastic ideas. At the hotel, Fong wakes up and slowly looks around, only to find that Chi Anmo was not there. He starts searching the whole place for food but can't find anything to satisfy his hunger. Fong just lies on the floor tiredly, thinking about how Chi Anmo is very mean and didn't leave him any food. We understand Fong. Food is life, after all. Fong sits there, slowly drawing patterns on the floor while recalling how Chi Anmo is not talking to him nor agreeing to send him back. Just then, he notices a phone, a wallet, and a piece of paper on the table. He quickly picks it up and reads the note. In the note, Chi Anmo informed him that it was his phone and that he could also use the money in the wallet. Fong is touched by the fact that Chi Anmo remembers him not having international roaming. Fong happily gets out to buy himself some food, satisfied that Chi Anmo at least has some morals. After some time, Chi Anmo comes back to the hotel, dressed up and holding a big bouquet of roses, just as instructed by his uncle. Initially nervous, he gathers the courage to enter the room, only to find that Fong is not there. He is glad that he has at least given Fong a phone. Chi Anmo tries to call Fong but is surprised that the number is not in service. His first thought is that something must be wrong with the mobile, and he decides to call his uncle's phone instead. He dials the number but doesn't get to talk to his uncle as someone enters the room. Someone picks up the call from the other end. But Chi Anmo has already placed the mobile on the table as he turns toward Bo Wen. Chi Anmo angrily tells his ex that he shouldn't have come there as he is not welcome. Bo Wen argues back that he knows he is wrong. He explains how if he had known that she was approaching him for the inheritance, then he wouldn't have helped her. Bo Wen gets closer to Chi Anmo, saying he will never contact Aunt Jo again. Before he can say anything else, Chi Anmo interrupts him, saying he is busy. He adds that using that woman as an excuse disgusts him. Bo Wen is also furious as he points at the roses, asking if Chi Anmo's being busy refers to giving those flowers to that artist. He shouts, asking Chi Anmo what is so great about Fong, as he just acts innocent and flirts with everyone. Chi-On-mo is confused by the statement as Bo Wen shouts that Chi-On-mo will never be able to see Fong again if he doesn't get back together with him. What the? Did he have someone kidnap our little Fong? In the meantime, Fong is with Ivan as they both walk inside a park. Fong stops suddenly and asks Ivan how far the coffee shop is because it has been a while since they started walking. Oh, this cutie of ours is so naive. Ivan replies that they will reach there soon and says that if Fong is tired, he can eat some pastry later and rest for a while. Fong tries to say something, but Ivan cuts him off, saying he will forget his troubles once he tastes those pastries. Ivan continues to say that Fong needs to rest so he can have more energy while confronting his partner. Nope, Fong doesn't need that kind of advice. So please, but I've already. Ivan. Fong leans back a little, uncomfortable with how close Ivan is to him. Ivan notices his reaction and quickly apologizes, saying he forgot Fong hates it when people get close to him. Fong is deep in his thoughts as he can't help but feel that all this is happening because Chi-On-mo insists on them being fake boyfriends. He remembers how earlier Ivan told him that he saw Bo Wen going into the hotel that Fong is currently staying in. All this confusing situation irritates Fong a lot, and he can't help but compare his life to some cliché novel stories. His thoughts suddenly turn toward Ivan, as he couldn't understand why they kept bumping into each other so often. You need to be taught about red flags, little Fong. After some time, they finally reach the cafe that Ivan mentioned, and Fong is instantly mesmerized by the interior. He quickly takes out his phone to take a picture of this fantastic inspirational material. At the same time, Ivan explains more things about the cafe to him. Fong is surprised when Ivan catches him taking pictures and quickly hides his phone, pretending he isn't doing anything. Just then, he notices a little kid standing there is confused about how he got there. Ivan also sees the kid, turns toward the manager, and speaks to him in a different language. Ivan asks Charlie, the manager, why he didn't lock up the kid when he told them to keep a close eye on him. The manager argues back that the kid, Parker, has been very polite lately, and they can't keep him locked up. Fong stares at Ivan, not understanding the conversation before him. Just then, the kid approaches him, but when he tries to politely greet the kid, the child squats Fong's hand away, cursing him. Fong is shocked at the kid's behavior as Ivan approaches them after hearing them interact. Ivan quickly turns to the kid, coldly telling him how he needs to get disciplined. Fong is confused by the situation and tells Ivan not to pick on the kid. Ivan instantly changes his demeanor, assuring Fong that he will only give the kid some verbal lessons. Ivan then stares at the kid coldly, warning Fong not to get close to him, saying that the kid is rude and violent. Ivan then quickly turns toward Fong with a smile, asking him if he is hungry, and promptly orders the chef to prepare tea for them. Fong is confused as he keeps thinking about who this kid is to Ivan, observing how the two look like sworn enemies. Ivan offers Fong a cake as they sit together at a table, saying he baked them himself this morning. Fong thanks him but can't stop getting this inkling that Ivan already knew he would come there today. I swear Fong is blind when it comes to red flags. Fong looks at the chocolate mousse cake before him and is reminded of Chi-On-mo again, curious about his situation with Bo Wen. He comes out of his thoughts when Parker suddenly jumps on the table, sending all their drinks and desserts to the ground. Fong is shocked by the action, thinking that the child hates him. He quickly changes his attitude when he notices Ivan is ready to scold the child. I feel like cursing when I see Ivan's face. Fong stops Ivan by reasoning out that Parker is just a kid, thinking to himself that being cute is enough for the kid to get exempted. Ivan instantly controls his anger, announcing that he will not do anything if Fong is okay with the situation. Ivan stands up, saying he will check if some ingredients are left to make desserts. Fong stops Ivan from doing so, saying that he will go soon. Ivan instantly looks sad, claiming that his hospitality isn't good. Seeing this, Fong agrees to stay there for a while. Ivan thanks him for his gesture, saying he will tell Charlie to show him around. At his statement, Parker coldly stares at him again, but he just leaves after glaring at him. Fong turns toward Parker, offering to take him to the bathroom to clean his hands. Parker agrees to join him, but quickly hides behind Fong when Charlie approaches them. Charlie says he will show him around, but Fong asks him about the toilet instead, explaining that he wants to help Parker clean up. Charlie agrees to help them, but when he is distracted a little, Parker quickly drags Fong away to the basement. Fong is confused but figures out that the kid is trying to show him something. Fong can't help but wonder if Ivan is doing some shady business in the basement. He then looks inside the room Parker is pointing toward and is shocked to see it filled with his pictures. Big red flag. Please realize it for what it is, Fong. Fong is utterly devastated to see his pictures like that and can't understand if it was Ivan or someone else who took these pictures. Before he can dwell on that further, Parker tugs at his hand again, asking him to escape quickly. Fong realizes they must leave that place first, but Ivan appears before they can. Ivan picks up Parker by his collar, making him dangle in the air. Fong angrily shouts at Ivan to put the boy down. Ivan is not fazed by his shouting and instead calls Fanga his muse. He then tells Fong not to stare at him like that, as it just allures him more. Ivan suddenly tosses the kid away, worrying Fong, who instantly goes to ask Parker if he's okay. But Ivan stops him. Ivan holds his face in his hand, asking Fong if he likes his pictures, as they are all full of his love. Fong harshly pushes him away, calling him a stalker, but Ivan pulls him back again. Ivan then slams Fong on the wall and pins him, saying how he can't push him away. The stalker claims that Fong's anger just attracts him more. Fong is scared and asks Ivan to let him go, but the other refuses. Ivan claims he doesn't want to use force, but since Fong is not obedient, he wants to teach him a lesson. This guy is pissing me off. I wish I could just jump in and teach this guy a lesson. Fong is already scared and wishes for someone to save him. Just then, the young boy throws something to the light above them, and Fong uses the distraction to bite Ivan hard on the hand. Meanwhile, back at the hotel, Chi Anmo is on a call with his uncle and asks him if he can find out the location of Fong's mobile. But Wen is lying on the floor, with his wrists tied up, as Chi Anmo talks to his uncle. Yan informs him about the phone's location, which is a cafe. He adds that he will send some people with Chi Anmo because the people at the cafe might be dangerous. Chi Anmo rushes out of the hotel while wishing for Fong to be safe because he was the one who got him into that situation. He is willing to let Fong do anything to him as punishment once he finds him. Ivan is furious as he stands in the room with his hand bleeding, and he looks around for Fong. Parker and Fong are discreetly trying to escape at first, and they start to run once they are in the corridor. Fong is worried about getting caught, and in his rush to escape, he slips on the floor. Parker quickly helps him, but Fong's knee is bleeding due to the fall, and he can't stand up. Parker takes action, hooking Fong's arm around his shoulder and helping him get up. Fong is surprised by the young boy's strength, as he just thought of him as a stupid kid. Woo. Good thing we are a little superhero. They are still in the corridor when they hear Ivan coming near them. Fong quickly tells the Parker to escape and gives him his phone, asking him to call someone for help. Parker tries to protest, but Fong convinces him to run. After Parker leaves, Fong decides he can't keep sitting here, even though his leg hurts badly. Fong considers buying some time before Chi Anmo can come to save him. Just then, Ivan appears, saying how Fong only spent a few minutes with Parker, but he has already learned how to anger him. He holds Fong's chin in his hand, asking him if he realized his mistakes and if he will not run anymore. Fong quickly stumbles back, wanting to escape Ivan, but only exposing his injuries in the process. The wounds anger Ivan more as he forcefully grabs Fong's leg, asking him how he can get hurt without his permission. Persistent beatard, Fong doesn't need your permission for anything. Fong angrily shouts that whatever happens to him shouldn't confound Ivan at all. Ivan pushes Fong against the wall again, saying that it seems like he has no idea about the situation he is in. He continues that Fong has angered the young master of Zheng's family, and he has left Fong to Ivan. So now he can escape. Ivan menacingly adds that Fong's friends and family will soon hear the news of him dying in some accident in Bali. Fong is utterly shocked and says this is illegal, but Ivan only continues mocking him. He starts to lean closer to Fong, but before he can do more, Chi Anmo arrives. With a death glare, he yells at Ivan that he can't touch Fong with his dirty hands. Finally, Chi Anmo punches Ivan hard in the face, saying Ivan has a unique talent for making Chi Anmo hit someone after a long time. Looks like the exceptional talent of the stalker. Ivan just calmly wipes his wound, saying it's a pleasure. His statement infuriates Chi Anmo, but Fong stops him before he can do more. Fong reminds Chi Anmo that they are in a foreign country and that beating Ivan up will only cause trouble. Chi Anmo tells Fong to relax, saying that he is not a nice person to let Ivan go with just a beating. Suddenly, Chi Anmo notices that Fong is injured and rushes to ask him if he is alright. Fong replies that it only hurts a little and is startled when Chi Anmo presses hard on his wounds. He lies down on the floor due to the pain, and Chi Anmo says that the pain should remind him not to follow strangers blindly, and he's treating Fong like a kid again. Chi Anmo continues that he is so worried that something terrible happened to Fong and suddenly hugs him while thinking about his fear of losing Fong. The sudden action makes Fong blush, and he softly pats Chi Anmo's back, assuring him that he is okay. Taking their distraction as an advantage, Ivan tries to escape but is stopped by Jan and his bodyguards. Jan angrily asks him where he is planning to flee after kidnapping his nephew-in-law. Chi Anmo tells Jan that the cafe is shady, while Fong is more focused on what Jan just called him. Chi Anmo then tells the guards to bring him some bruised weeds, search the entire place, and call the cops. He wants to say something else, but Fong stops him, saying he has something to tell him. Chi Anmo is secretly happy at how Fong is obedient now and leans down to hear what the other has to say. Fong tells him that there is a room filled with his pictures and requests that Chi Anmo destroy it. Chi Anmo follows his request and tells Ivan to lead the way if he doesn't want to get beaten up again. Jan also joins them, curious to know what is happening, and tells his guards to take care of Fong. Inside the room, they are shocked to see so many of Fong's pictures. Chi Anmo praises Ivan, saying his stalking skills are so good that he didn't even realize they were being followed these past few days. He continues to say that he has to destroy all the pictures and their originals. Chi Anmo picks up the camera from the table, saying he will let him get away with the crime if he destroys the camera with his own hands. Ivan shouts that they can't do this to him as this is his life, but Jan just calmly asks him if he would like to spend time in jail instead. Seriously, giving him a way out is too merciful. Ivan is still sure he's not going to prison, but Jan breaks his hope when he says that Bo Wen can't help him anymore. He tries to scare Ivan by telling him how Chi Anmo belongs to an influential family. Ivan yells that he did his research and that there is no person named Chi Anmo in the Qian family. Jan just replies that he must know about him belonging to that family. Ivan is shocked to hear that and rushes to catch the camera Chi Anmo suddenly throws. Chi Anmo coldly tells Ivan to destroy the camera before his patience runs out. Ivan's hands shake as he holds the camera in his hand and finally smashes it to the ground as Chi Anmo shouts at him to do so. He kneels on the ground, sadly looking at the camera, devastated by how his hard work and future are all gone, which makes him angry at Bo Wen. They could have just destroyed the memory card or film, but yeah, the camera it is, so that Ivan learns his lesson. Outside the room, Fong's knees have been bandaged, and he is wondering why Chi Anmo hasn't returned yet. Just then, he hears footsteps and turns around, happy to see the lawyer approaching him. He asks Chi Anmo if they beat up Ivan again, as he just heard noise from inside. Chi Anmo replies that they just forced Ivan to destroy his camera and softly rubs Fong's head, asking him if he is happy. Fong smiles brightly at Chi Anmo and says it is good because Ivan will not do something terrible again since his tool is destroyed. Chi Anmo replies that Fong shouldn't forget about his profession and says that he will get justice for Fong, and Ivan will get the punishment he deserves. Good. His being out and about leaves a bad taste. Fong's heart starts to beat faster at Chi Anmo's words, but he doesn't get a chance to calm it down as Chi Anmo suddenly picks him up in bridal style. Fong tries to protest, but Chi Anmo just asks him how he will get back when he can't even walk. Fong argues that he can walk, but Chi Anmo is not fazed by his act as he just presses a soft kiss on Fong's head, saying that he doesn't want him to get hurt again. Fong suddenly remembers Parker and asks Chi Anmo if they saw him when they came in. Chi Anmo just calls his uncle, and he quickly assures them that he will take care of the situation here. Fong wants to say something else, but Chi Anmo just walks away, holding him and promising his uncle they will visit him someday. Once they reach the hotel, Fong is already asleep with his head leaning on Chi Anmo's shoulder. Instead of waking him up, Chi Anmo tells his driver in a low voice to go inside and make preparations. Chi Anmo softly caresses Fong's cheek, thinking about how he must be exhausted because of that scary situation. He promises to never let any danger come near Fong again, and he suddenly kisses him directly on the lips. I swear he has no control over his urges. When Fong wakes up, Chi Anmo is still holding him. Fong is confused about how he fell asleep. He is startled when Chi Anmo speaks up, and he instantly calls Chi Anmo out for hugging him close as he carries him again. Fong quickly asks to be let down, embarrassed that someone will see them, but Chi Anmo assures him there is no one else here. Chi Anmo then tells him to look forward, which confuses Fong a little, but he still follows the order. He is speechless to see a setup of a candlelight dinner in front of him, and his first thought is how he can take so many inspirational pictures from this setup. Can we consider this as their first official date? Chi Anmo wants to know his opinion, but Fong is more focused on discreetly searching his phone and is heartbroken when he remembers that he doesn't have his phone with him. When Chi Anmo puts him down on the seat, Fong fully realizes the situation and hesitantly asks if this dinner is meant for them. Chi-On-mo seems angry to hear this as he sharply asks Fong if he wants to have dinner with somebody else instead. Fong quickly defends himself, saying he doesn't want somebody else, but they are just friends, and it is not suitable for them to act as a couple. Chi-On-mo replies that couples can't be the only ones to have candlelight dinners together. Besides that, the things they have done together already surpass the boundaries of friendship. Fong quickly replies that it was just an accident and that their relationship is still not strong enough for them to have this dinner together. I just hope that they will make progress soon. Chi-On-mo finally backs down and accepting whatever Fong is saying and starts to feed him. He pours wine into the glasses while saying that this dinner is compensation for getting angry with Fong yesterday. That momentarily confuses Fong, so Chi-On-mo reminds him of yesterday's argument about Bo Wen. After remembering that, Fong also apologizes for arguing with Chi-On-mo about the situation without knowing what type of person Bo Wen is. Chi-On-mo slowly raises his hand to wipe something from Fong's cheek, while saying that he is the one who should be apologizing for putting Fong in danger. Chi-On-mo is surprised when Fong suddenly drinks the whole glass of wine in one shot. Fong slams the glass back on the table and says that when he was with Ivan yesterday, he mentioned how Bo Wen was the one behind all this, as he wanted to trap Fong there forever. He asks Chi-On-mo if Ivan is telling the truth, to which the lawyer quickly replies that Ivan is bluffing. Fong is relieved to find that he was just overthinking. Suddenly, Chi-On-mo comes near him and holds Fong's cheek. He says that even if Bo Wen plans to harm him, he will do anything to keep Fong safe from any kind of danger. Fong is flustered by the action and says that if Chi-On-mo keeps flirting with him like that, he will be responsible for the consequences. Chi-On-mo replies that he will care for Fong even when his hair turns gray, as long as he is alive. He seals his promise with a kiss on Fong's lips. A short while later, Fong is withering and shivering as Chi-On-mo provides him service. Fong can no longer hold himself and instantly gets embarrassed after his release. Chi-On-mo just finds it cute and asks him to rest for now as he will go to the bathroom. Before he can leave, Fong quickly stops him by holding his arm and saying he can't leave him hanging like that. Chi-On-mo is surprised by the sudden obedience and pushes Fong, saying he should help him in this case. Fong is worried as he confesses that he hasn't done something like this before, but Chi-On-mo quickly assures him that they will only use his hand today. This is indeed progress, but not quite the progress I have in mind. The next day, Fong wakes up and is confused when he feels himself lying on some hard surface. He looks up and is startled to see Chi-On-mo sleeping beside him. At first, he doesn't understand why they are sleeping together, but a flashback from last night reminds him of everything. He's upset that he lost himself again like that and slaps himself, asking himself to get a grip. Fong is more worried that Bo Wen might find out about his activities with Chi-On-mo. Just then, Chi-On-mo softly rubs his head, asking him what he is thinking about so deeply. Fong replies that he is thinking about Bo Wen, instantly angering Chi-On-mo, who asks him why he is thinking about someone else now. Fong quickly backtracks, saying he is not thinking anything, but Chi-On-mo doesn't believe him. This is why you should think twice before you speak, Fong. You'll end up digging your own grave. Chi-On-mo pinches Fong's cheeks, calling him ungrateful for thinking about someone else after they spent a great night together. Fong quickly presses a hand on his mouth to silence him. Chi-On-mo softly kisses his palm, asking Fong to only think about him in the future. The possessive statement offends Fong, who quickly sits up, saying there's no point in thinking about Chi-On-mo. He reveals how Bo Wen told him before about Chi-On-mo and how he likes to do explicit activities in different places. Chi-On-mo is irritated that Fong actually believed that and quickly hugs him, saying nothing really happened between him and Bo Wen. Fong doesn't believe him and is embarrassed when Chi-On-mo says he doesn't like the balcony, but Fong can choose any other place he wants. This cunning lawyer is going to corrupt our innocent artist. Fong quickly changes the topic, saying he wants to visit Yan so he can check on Parker. Chi-On-mo agrees to take him there while internally swooning over his cuteness. At his home, Yan is woken up by the maid, who informs him that Chi-On-mo and his partner are already at the house. Can we update our collective crush? Chi-On-mo's uncle is such a treat to the eyes. He tells the maid to leave and slowly gets up, still tired even after his sleep. Just then, he hears some grumbling and looks back to find Parker staring at him. He is confused by the kid's presence there but remembers that last night, he decided to tend to the child himself after all the maids failed to handle him due to his tantrums. Yan slowly turns toward the kid and is annoyed when Parker shows more resistance than yesterday. After a lot of struggling, Jan manages to pick up the child and tells him that he is just taking him to the person he saved yesterday. In the living room, Fong sits silently, thinking about how Jan must be crazy rich, judging from his vast mansion. A grape suddenly appears in his line of sight as Chi Anmo asks him to taste the fruit. Fong replies that he just injured his legs and his hands are completely fine. His statement does not affect Chi Anmo, as he just asks Fong to feed him instead. Fong is embarrassed by the continuous flirting of the other and blushes hard when Chi Anmo says that the grape will taste better if someone feeds him. Just then, Jan comes there with the child, feeling like he is intruding on some private moment. Fong quickly perks up after seeing that the kid is alright and asks him for his name, as he didn't get the chance to find it yesterday. So Parker isn't his real name? Jan replies that Ivan has given the kid his name, but he hates it and never responds to it. Jan further explains that even though the kid is very scrawny, he's actually 15 years old. Fong is shocked to find that, as he figures that Ivan must have been torturing him a lot for him to be so small at 15. Jan replies that it is true, but it is good that they no longer have ties with each other. Fong asks Jan if he is helping the kid to change his guardian. His statement worries Chi Anmo, who instantly asks his uncle if he plans to adopt the child. Jan replies that he can't do that since if those old men find out about him gaining an inheritor, they will raise hell. Fong is surprised to hear that, as he figures that Jan must be from some wealthy background. This makes him realize that Chi Anmo also can't be an ordinary lawyer. Fong is a little slow to come to conclusions, but it's alright since I am not a bright star either. Before he can think about it further, Chi Anmo caresses Fong's cheek, telling him to bring the kid to watch TV as he's going out for a moment, for his uncle is itching for a puff. Chi Anmo stands up to walk away, still looking back at Fong and telling him he is leaving. Jan is amused at how his nephew is clingy to his lover. As they go, Fong can't help but feel that Chi Anmo is very distant from him. Chi Anmo and Jan are on the balcony, where Jan asks his nephew when he plans to return to China. Chi Anmo replies that they will stay there until Fong's leg is completely healed. Jan mentions how he notices Chi Anmo's affection toward Fong and asks if he plans to settle down with him in the long term. Chi Anmo blushes a little and confesses that being with Fong makes him happy. Jan is delighted to see his nephew having feelings towards someone. Still, he worries that it will be difficult for him to have freedom in marriage right now. Chi Anmo instantly frets upon hearing this and asks if Jan is talking about his father. Seeing him worried like that, Jan asks him to relax, saying he can stay peacefully at his place for some time. He continues that Chi Anmo can inherit his family business and suggests that he discuss it with Fong. Chi Anmo replies that he is not interested in Chan's family business, but Jan advises him not to make any rash decisions, saying that he is much better than his older brother. Chi Anmo says it doesn't matter how useless his brother Bai is, for he is still considered the perfect person to inherit it. He adds that if Bai hadn't had the accident, this opportunity of getting an inheritance would never have come to an illegitimate child like him. Jan tries to comfort his nephew, but Chi Anmo ignores him, saying that he wouldn't want Jolie to have him if he had the choice. Jan is worried that Chi Anmo is still offended by being used by Jolie and can't understand how a perfect child like Chi Anmo can be born from a mother who just wants to gain benefits for herself. Fang is a famous cartoonist who is deceived by his company and wants to find a powerful lawyer to fight against them. He finds the perfect person for that job, but the only problem is that the lawyer doesn't want to get paid through money and would prefer if Fang obeyed his special requests instead. Jan is trying his best to feed the kid as much as he can, in the hope that he will grow taller, but soon realizes that it may not work. During the conversation, Chi Anmo is zoned out, not focusing on anything, which alerts Fong as he realizes that Chi Anmo has been like this since he finished talking to his uncle. He pays too much attention toward the person he claims he doesn't have feelings for. Suddenly, Jan asks them about their plans for the evening, to which Chi Anmo replies that he will let Fong decide their plans. Fong is startled by the sudden attention, but quickly replies that he really wishes to go to Tana Lot, but with his injury, it will be difficult. Chi Anmo softly replies that they will go to Tana Lot and he will help Fong move around in a wheelchair. A green flag main lead is the most attractive thing. Jan quickly says they will also tag along, and the group doesn't waste any time going on their trip. When they reach Tana Lot, Fong is mesmerized by the unique temple building surrounded by water. He quickly starts taking pictures as Jan proudly says that the place looks more beautiful when the tide rises. Fong excitedly says that they should take a look inside. Jan and the kid quickly start walking without waiting for them, as Jan keeps scolding the child for running too fast. Fong smiles to see that, happy that a child also likes the place, and turns around to share his thoughts with Chi-Anmo. He is surprised to find Chi-Anmo looking like he will throw up at any moment. He quickly asks Chi-Anmo if he is all right, but the lawyer is deep in his thoughts. After seeing the sea, Chi-Anmo is reminded of a horrible accident from his childhood when his mother tried to drown him. As he struggled to breathe in the water, she kept crying, saying that she had no other option but to sacrifice him, as this was the only way she could get what she wanted. In the present, Fong watches Chi-Anmo mumbling something, looking extremely pale, so he quickly rushes forward to pull Chi-Anmo from his panicked state. He is more shocked when he notices a tear slipping from Chi-Anmo's eyes and softly cups his cheek, asking him why he cried. Chi-Anmo quickly collects himself and responds that it is just because something got into his eye. Fong is still worried and offers to help Chi-Anmo, but he refuses, insisting that he is fine. Chi-Anmo diverts the topic as he reminds Fong that he shouldn't have stood up like that because his knees are still injured. Just on cue, Fong's knees start to hurt, and they notice the wounds are bleeding again. Chi-Anmo helps him sit back down, all the while scolding him for being reckless. Fong is more focused on him as he notices how Chi-Anmo's hands are cold and shaking. Their chemistry is unmatched. When Chi-Anmo offers to take him to the temple, Fong instead says that he is thirsty, so they should go to the shop instead. At the cafe, they are calmly sipping their drinks when Fong asks the lawyer if he is all right, mentioning how he looked really pale at the sight of water. He asks Chi-Anmo if he is afraid of water. Chi-Anmo tries to say that he is not afraid, but Fong interrupts him, saying that it must be because he drowned when he was young, because the exact same thing happened to him. He explains how he started learning to swim after that and soon got over his fear of water. Kangamio replies that his case is more complicated, but not wanting to go into details, he says that he will tell Fong about it later. Chi-Anmo changes the topic suddenly, saying that when Yan is back, he will ask him to take Fong to the temple. Fong replies that he doesn't want to see the temple from inside while secretly worried about leaving Chi-Anmo alone here. His declaration makes Chi-Anmo happy as he mischievously asks Fong if it is because he just wants to stay with him. Fong is happy at being teased and replies that he just doesn't want to bother someone else. Chi-Anmo chuckles at that and says that Fong can ask him anything since he practically belongs to him. After deciding on staying behind, Chi-Anmo announces that he will tell Fong a story to get rid of his boredom. Chi-Anmo starts his story without waiting for any response. He says that when he was still in school, the top student of his class was a loner, and later on he transferred schools. He asks Fong to guess the reason. But after Fong fails to provide a suitable answer, he continues his story. Chi-Anmo tells him that it was because the top boy was emotionally abused at home. His mother clung to a married man and only birthed him for the money, which made it hard for him to be recognized by anyone. To deal with the trauma that your parents gave you is the most hardest thing in the world. Fong replies that the boy is not at fault, but his statement seems to anger Chi-Anmo. Chi-Anmo quickly asks why the boy is not at fault because even his birth was a mistake. Fong calmly replies that no one deserves to be treated like that at birth. He continues that humans have long lives, so even if life is not good for the boy at first, he will eventually find someone who will truly care for him and will always stay by his side. Chi-Anmo is taken aback by the unexpected sweet statement as Fong says that he wishes that boy found someone like that. Our little painter is very optimistic. Hopefully, his positivity will rub off on Chi-Anmo too. Chi-Anmo is dazed by the hopeful words of Fong and asks him if he really thinks that can happen. Fong instead shared his story, telling Chi-Anmo that when he moved away after a fight with his family, he was also very disheartened. Even though his story is not like that of that boy, he still wants to advise him that there are surprises in life, so he shouldn't give up so early. Chi-Anmo smiles at that and suddenly hugs Fong, surprising the painter with his sudden actions. He then pulls back a little and looks at Fong's blushing face, telling him how he wishes they could have met earlier. He softly rubs Fong's hair, declaring how he would have loved to pick up Fong when he was homeless. These softest touches from Chi-Anmo are giving me butterflies. Chi-Anmo pushes their foreheads together, saying that if they had met earlier, Fong would have belonged to him. A few days have passed since their trip to Tanalat, and Fong's wounds are almost healed. Chi-Anmo encourages him to try walking, but he can't hold back his smile when Fong waddles around, looking like he forgot to walk. Fong is angry at his laugh and almost yells at him, saying that Chi-Anmo was the one who insisted on him sitting in the wheelchair. Chi-Anmo quickly apologizes, saying it was his fault and tells Fang to be careful while walking. He already has the qualities of a good husband. Suddenly remembering something, Chi Anmo says that he has to go out for a while today as he needs to get some work done. Fong sharply says that he doesn't care about what Chi Anmo does but is interrupted by the sudden kiss on the cheek from the lawyer. He just stands there with his red cheeks as Chi Anmo leaves after blowing him another kiss. When he is left alone, Fong can't help but think about how Chi Anmo is getting more clingy. He is relieved by the fact that they will soon leave Bali because his legs are almost healed now. Fong is thinking that when they return to China, everything will go back to normal, which is good since there shouldn't be a romantic relationship between two men. He comes out of his thoughts when the doorbell rings. Surprised, he stumbles toward the door, only to find Ren Jia shouting at him for ghosting her. Ren Jia sits on the sofa, glaring at Fong, who offers her a cold drink in the hope of calming her down. She ignores his offer and instead asks him to tell her his current situation. Fong sheepishly says that nothing is happening with him as he just came to vacation with a friend who has already claimed Fong as his own. Ren Jia is not fooled by his act, as she replies that an introvert like him can come to Bali with a man whom he has known for less than a month. Fong quickly says that things happen differently sometimes, but he didn't mean to leave without saying goodbye. Ren Jia is not focused on his answer, as she instead stares at the love bite on his collarbone. Fong is oblivious to her stare and asks her how she found out about him. Ren Jia replies that this hotel is one of their branches. Not being able to hold herself back, Ren Jia asks him about his relationship with Chi Anmo. Fong laughs sheepishly at the question as he gulps the drink he brought for Ren and quickly says that he is just friends with Chi Anmo. Ren Jia suddenly stands up, telling him not to make excuses and asking him if he still wants to reconcile with his parents. Fong is surprised by the sudden question, so Ren Jia explains that even though he looks fine, she knows that he misses home. Ren Jia continues to say that he has to think carefully about it because his parents were so cruel when his friends confessed to him. She says that if he really does like men, then it will be impossible for him to go back. Mention of his parents sends Fong into his past as he recalls his fight with his parents. His mother has told him how his father has found a job for him, but when he tried to protest, his father got angry and shouted at him for being ungrateful. Fong didn't back down as he reminded his parents how they changed his college entrance exams and made Kong Young transfer. Mentioning his friend has infuriated his father more as he throws a bin at Fong that hit him in the head. His mother rushed to help him, but his father kept shouting at him, saying he should leave the house if he thought like that. Instead of stopping his father, his mother only asked him to apologize to his father and not talk back. In the present, Fong sits on the sofa as he recalls those dark memories. Ren Jia left a few moments ago after telling him to carefully think about the situation. He is thinking about how his parents will react if he actually gets together with Chi Anmo one day. He comes out of these thoughts when Chi Anmo suddenly comes there and asks him why he is in such deep thoughts and not practicing walking. When he stays silent, Chi Anmo offers to treat him to a delicious meal, but he sharply refuses the offer. Chi Anmo is surprised by the sudden hostile behavior and is more confused when Fong says that he has to tell him something. Fong has finally gathered some courage to tell Chi Anmo about his past, not wanting to drag this any further. Before he can say something, Chi Anmo's phone starts ringing and he excuses himself, saying that he needs to take this call. After Chi Anmo walks away, Fong scolds himself for being a coward as he just needs to cut all ties with Chi Anmo, which shouldn't be this hard. Even after moving away, Fong is still afraid of his parents, which just shows how much trauma they caused him. I just hope he will get over it soon. He looks up when he hears the door click and sees Chi Anmo, who whispers that he will be back soon. Fong plops back down on the sofa as he keeps wondering if the love between two men is really possible. Meanwhile, outside the room, Chi Anmo encounters Ren Jia and introduces himself as Fong's boyfriend. Ren Jia tells him that she is the elder sister of Fong and says that they should talk inside. Before they can leave, she advises him not to forge a relationship, saying that it can cause troubles in the future. Chi Anmo only replies that it is not forging if it is meant to be. I love how confident he is about their relationship. He then says that it is truly bothersome that she tried to take advantage of the situation when Fong was alone. Ren Jia sharply says that he can leave if he comes here to argue. Chi Anmo asks her what she said to Fong as he looks so sad, but Ren refuses to tell him anything. He is frustrated at the situation and shouts at Ren Jia, asking if she doesn't care about how alone and sad Fong is. Ren Jia is also furious, as she yells back that Chi Anmo pulled irrelevant people into his business, which was very evil. She continues that she doesn't care about Chi Anmo's family, but Fang Ge's parents will never let him be together with a man. Chi Anmo realizes that this was the reason Fang Ge looked so down. Ren Jia adds that if he really cares about Fang Ge, he shouldn't force him into any difficult situation. Chi Anmo replies that he will not force Fang Ge for anything, but he also wishes that Ren Jia would not interfere again and let Fang Ge make his own decisions. Fang Ge has fallen asleep on the couch and is woken up by a delicious scent invading his nose. He slowly sits up and looks around, only to find Yan sitting there with a kid in front of the table, filled with food. Startled, Fang Ge asks them, "Why did they come here?" Yan replies that they came here just now and asked Fang Ge if he is sleepy because he didn't rest well at night. Yan just wants some spicy details, just like us. Fang Ge nervously replies that it is just because he can't move much due to his leg, so he has fallen asleep on the couch. Just then, Chi Anmo enters the house and Yan quickly turns his attention toward food, saying they can eat now. Chi Anmo goes straight toward Fang Ge and tells him that the kid wanted to meet him so they could play. He continues that Fang Ge looks very sad, so he invited Yan and the kid over. He then softly asks Fang Ge if he is happy now. Fang Ge just replies that he is not sad and again tries to tell Chi Anmo about his decision, but is interrupted by Chi Anmo, who instead turns toward food. Chi Anmo points at the kid, saying that he will eat everything if they don't start eating soon. Fang Ge starts eating too, thinking that he will tell Chi Anmo about him later. After finishing eating, Yan grabs the kid, whom he named Yosha, in his arms and leaves the apartment after waving them goodbye. Once they are left alone, Chi Anmo says to Fang Ge that he has to tell him something. But for that, they have to go somewhere else. He brings Fang Ge outside on the balcony, and as they stand leaning over the railing, he asks Fang Ge if he remembers their first meeting. Chi Anmo reminds Fang Ge of how he spilled coffee on him when they first met. Fang Ge is a little worried while reminiscing about the past, as Chi Anmo continues that back then he just wanted to teach Fang Ge a lesson for throwing coffee at him. He softly strokes Fang Ge's cheek and reveals that he invited him to the banquet as a prank, but that night took an unexpected turn, a prank that ended in them sleeping together. Chi Anmo stares at Fang Ge and confesses that he has sunk deep into his own trap. Can we consider this a confession? Fang Ge is confused by Chi Anmo's statement and can't understand what it really means. The little painter is so clueless. Before he can think about it further, Chi Anmo cups his face softly, just as the fireworks goes off in the background. Chi Anmo doesn't get a chance to say anything as Fang Ge quickly turns around to look at the fireworks. Chi Anmo softly asks him if he likes it, but Fang Ge can't understand if he is talking about fireworks or this moment between them. Chi Anmo slowly intervenes their hands and says that if Fang Ge likes this, they can stand closer and watch this. Eventually, they both sit on the floor, and Fang Ge dejectedly says that his friend came to Bali as well, and he wants to go back to China with her. Chi Anmo knows that he can't force Fang Ge into anything, so he just softly replies that it is fine. Fang Ge is worried about Chi Anmo being angry, but he realizes that he would be angry too if he confessed to someone and they ignored him. He buries his face in his knees and says that Chi Anmo got something wrong because he is not a person worthy of love. Chi Anmo just softly runs his head, asking if he wants to get complimented even though he rejected his confession. Chi Anmo looked evil in the starts, but he is so sweet. Fang Ge deserves someone like him. Fang Ge quickly defends himself, saying that he didn't mean it like that. Chi Anmo just softly smiles in return, saying that to him, Fang Ge is just very gullible, which makes him wonder what he should do to him. Before Fang Ge can think something bad about himself, Chi Anmo adds that he still can't stop thinking about how adorable Fang Ge is. To him, Fang Ge is a bright sun, and since he was not very careful, he accidentally got trapped by his innocence. Fang Ge is blushing madly at the sweet confession of Chi Anmo and asks him how he came up with such words. Chi Anmo raises his hand to touch Fang, asking him if he is feeling shy. Fang Ge quickly slaps his hand away, warning him not to pinch his face. He then adds that Kiemo must have said such sweet words to many other people in his life. Chi Anmo replies that he only said things like this to Fang Ge, just like he already said that he only held hands with him. Fang Ge doesn't believe his words, thinking that Chi Anmo can't be an expert at these things without saying it to anyone else. Someone is jealous. Sensing his hesitance, Chi Anmo quickly explains that he doesn't like Bo Wen and only dated him because he had no other choice at that time. Fang Ge is shocked to hear that he was forced into a relationship, Seeing his surprised reaction, Kayam quickly says that he is not weak and never lets himself lose in anything. Fang instead asks him about his family, to which Chi Anmo replies that his relationship with his family is not good, just like Fang. Fang is still not satisfied with the answers, as he mentions how people still frown upon gay relationships and asks Chi Anmo if he is not worried about others' opinions. Chi Anmo calmly replies that in life, if your partner is someone you don't like, then it will only end in suffering. He continues that there are billions of people on Earth, but we can only meet some of them, and the chances of falling for them are lower. He wraps an arm around Fang's shoulder and says that it is a miracle if a person gets a chance to meet their soulmates in life. Wish everyone in the world can understand this and stop trying to force people away from their loved ones. Fang looks at his shoulder where Chi Anmo has tightened his grip and says that he is lucky to find his soulmates and wouldn't let him go just because of other people's opinions. His words make Fang change his decision, as he keeps thinking that he will regret his decision if he rejects Chi Anmo now. Just then, Chi Anmo points out that the fireworks are already over. Fang stares into his eyes as he says that seeing these fireworks will be one of his most precious memories. Chi Anmo softly presses a kiss on his hand as Fang continues to say that he hopes this moment will also be a pleasant memory for Chi Anmo. The next day, Chi Anmo is leaning over the railing, looking at the sea. Yan is standing beside him and offers to help him if he wants to stop Fang from going back. Chi Anmo replies that he doesn't need Yan's help because he will also go back in 2 days. Yan is not happy with his answer and reminds him how he has been acting so depressed ever since Fang left. Chi Anmo quickly defends himself, saying that he just got a little sad because, in these last words, he became used to Fang's presence. Yan makes fun of him for being clingy, but quickly gets serious as he says it is good because Chi Anmo can deal with his father when he goes back without getting Fang involved in his problems. Chi Anmo admits that he was impatient last night, but once he got Fang to commit, he wouldn't have to worry about anything. He is just worried because Fang is so timid, and he can't do anything about it. Yan just laughs at the fact that Chi Anmo doesn't have any other plans and just tells him to give Fang some space. Yan is such a mode, as he gives his full support, but also makes fun of his nephew at every possible chance. Meanwhile, Fang is in deep sleep as he sits on the plane beside Ren, who wakes him up, informing him that they are about to land. After their plane lands, they both come out of the airport together, and Fang is surprised to see a huge banner welcoming Ren back home. When he asks her about it, she just asks him to ignore it. Ren tries to rush out of there, but is stopped by another woman. Fang is mesmerized by the beauty of this woman, but Ren is unfazed as she scolds the woman for abandoning her job for such things. The woman only replies that welcoming Ren is not a waste of time. Just then, she notices Fang who is startled by the sharp glares of the woman. She asks Ren about Fang to which Ren replies that he is her junior and says that they can talk some other day because she has to go somewhere. Ren is surprised when the woman stands right in front of her and says that Ren always runs away from her. She leans back a little, and this time she sharply asks Ren if she even cares that her dad wants her to marry some random person. Ren is shocked to hear that, as the woman dejectedly says that her family can't reject the offer because it is from the Chian family. Ren drops Fang off at his house and advises him to take care of himself since he lives alone. Fang assures her that he will be fine and then asks her if her friend is in some kind of trouble. Before Ren can answer him, the woman from the car asks Ren if she has finished talking because her license can be invalidated if she stops here any longer. Ren excuses herself from Fang, telling him that she will visit him sometime later. As she moves to go back to her car, the woman keeps glaring at Fang, openly showing her hatred toward him. As the car drives away, Fang stands there dejectedly, sad that he didn't get a chance to ask which Chian family the girls were talking about. He can't help but wonder if they were talking about Chianmo's family, but he quickly dismisses his thoughts, not wanting to think about the lawyer any further. It seems it will take a lot more effort for him to get rid of the lawyer's thoughts. Fang goes back after shopping for some snacks and is welcomed by his editor, who seems overly enthusiastic about his return. Fang is surprised by the intense reaction and asks the editor to stand up. The editor leans back against the wall and says that Fang is the only one who can help him, but he can't get mad at him. Fang is confused by his statement, and seeing that, the editor quickly holds his hand and reveals that their boss wants to take back the lawsuit against Fang. He adds that if Fang dropped the lawsuit, their boss would agree to compensate him for it. Fang doesn't believe him, so the editor quickly adds that the boss told him that personally. He says that the lawsuit has become a hot topic and will affect Fang's adaptation project. Fang calmly replies that if Hun Chuan really wants to do this, He should bring a legal agreement because his words have no legal validity. The editor quickly replies that he just forgot to bring that document, while secretly annoyed with the fact that Fong is not very clueless. Fong says that they will talk later since he is tired from traveling and moves away, ignoring the editor's pleas. Fong is gullible, but thank God he doesn't got stuck in his ex-boss's trap. When he is left alone, Fong sits beside a wall, frustrated by the fact that Chuan only wants this agreement because he is losing the lawsuit. Just then, his phone starts ringing, and he is surprised to see that Chi is calling him. Despite his hesitation, Fong picks up the call and sharply asks Chi what he wants. The lawyer replies that he just misses him and asks him if he ate since he must have reached his house by now. Fong is speechless for a moment, but then says that Chi shouldn't be worried about him. He can't help but feel guilty about the attention, since he can't offer anything in return. Chi is surprised to hear that Fong wants to cut all ties with him after spending just one day without him. Instead of getting sad, Chi asks Fong if he is doing this because he is afraid to actually fall in love with him. Fong quickly denies that, saying he is not falling for him. Chi changes the topic as he asks Fong who upsets him because he sounds so gloomy. Fong reluctantly tells about the offer he got from his former boss. Chi shouts at him that he can't accept the offer because Chuan should apologize to him properly and compensate him with money for all the damage he has done to him. Fong timidly says thanks to Chi for his advice, who reminds him that he already promised to protect him until the end. Chi doesn't miss any chance of flirting. Fong can't bear any more confessions, so he quickly hangs up the phone and keeps thinking about how Chi didn't want to lose at first, but now he has completely changed. He still doesn't want to use Chi for his own advantage and decides that it is time for him to go back to his work. The next day, Fong is taking an afternoon nap when the doorbell rings. Confused, he goes to open the door and finds his editor standing there. The editor has brought the contract for him to sign and urges him to do it quickly, but Fong refuses to do so. He tells the editor to leave, saying that he changed his mind about settling the conflict in private. The editor gets angry to hear this as he shouts that Fong can't do this, and it was because of the company that he came to this point. He shouts that Fong is not even that social and that no one else will help him in publishing. They are interrupted by a voice saying that offline activities are not standard for an author to be famous. The editor is confused, but before he could say something else, the person introduces himself as Chi and says that he is Fong's new editor. Fong is confused by all this while his editor recognizes Chi as the famous gold medalist editor. Chi glares at him sharply and says, how can he look down on the author he is planning to work with? He then asks the editor to leave, warning him that if he bothered Fong again, he would be destroyed. Fong has brought Chi inside his house and is now preparing a drink for him. He is enchanted by the fact that a top-tier editor has approached him on his own. He even pinches himself to make sure that he is not dreaming about the situation. Fong is so cute when he is lost in his own world. Just then, he notices Chi looking at his drawing books and quickly snatches them away from him, telling him not to touch them. Fong instantly realizes that he shouldn't offend a top-level editor and quickly apologizes for his mistake. To his surprise, Chi just says that it was actually his fault and asks him if these drawings are part of his new project. Fong sheepishly says that he just drew these last night, while thinking to himself how he just mindlessly scribbled those. Chi just softly smiles at him and asks if the person he is drawing will be the main character of his new book. Before Fong can reply, he comments on how the person in the drawing looks like a modern adult male and asks Fong if he wants to stick with Shaman on his next project. Fong joins him on the sofa and reveals that he is still not sure about his project. He asks if Chi has any suggestions in this regard. Chi replies that the new character he is drawing fulfills the beauty standard of a male hero, so he should consider working on love stories. Fong is worried to hear that and says that he has never written love stories in the past, so he doesn't know if he can do that. Chi assures him that he will help him with the first episode, and then it will be easier for him to continue working on it. Fong is excited to hear this and quickly says that he will work hard to finish the work. Chi is surprised by how easily pleased Fong is and is excited to spend his time with Chi Mo's lover. Chi Mo is not in the country, but he makes sure that no harms come to his sweetheart. Meanwhile, Chi Mo has returned from Bali and gone to his father's house. His younger stepbrother welcomes him and mockingly asks him if he was praying for this day. Chi Mo just calmly says that he doesn't believe in God and goes to leave, saying that his father wants to meet him. Before he can even finish his sentence, his brother says that he is just being delusional because even his own mother wants him dead. Chi Anmo hardly controls his anger but retaliates, telling his brother to worry for himself because his days of freedom are coming to an end now that their elder brother is seriously ill. I don't want to clap for Chi Anmo. He effectively shuts up his bratty stepbrother. Chi Anmo just walks away after that, ignoring his brother's shout that an illegitimate child shouldn't be so proud of himself. After an unpleasant encounter with his brother, Chi Anmo goes to meet his father, who orders him to stay in this house for now and meet a girl from Joe's family after 3 days. His father says that the Joe family is very powerful, so Chi Anmo has to take his opportunity, and later this year his identity will be revealed in public. Chi Anmo just says thank you to his father while thinking to himself that no one except Fang can even come closer to ruling his heart. 3 days later, Fang's door bursts open early in the morning as a panting Chi enters his house. He quickly asks Fang if he is all right, but the other is just confused about what is happening. Chi frantically asks him if he read the false statement that Yen Yu released on Weibo. Fang calmly replies that he saw it. Chi is confused by his calm reaction because Chi Anmo has rushed him to go and check on Fang. He replies to Fang that no one will believe things like this while thinking to himself about how Chi Anmo is overly worried about him. Just then, he notices Fang's disheveled appearance and his red eyes. Chi quickly comforts him, saying that they are just acting up. Fang replies that he is all right and quickly changes the topic as he tells Chi that he will finish those drafts quickly. Chi says that he doesn't have to worry about that and offers to go to the beach to relax with him and his son. Fang is shocked to hear that Chi has a son and asks him how he has a son at such a young age. I understand Fang as I was also shocked at the confession. Chi just chuckles in return as he tells Fang that he adopted the kid from his sister. Fang is more confused to hear this and is wondering if Chi has some kind of disease. His train of thought is stopped when Chi scolds him for thinking nonsense and quickly explains that he has no feelings for women and adopted the kid due to family pressure. Fang is dejected to hear that and can't help but wonder if one can really get the family's understanding. Meanwhile, Chi Anmo is sitting in a restaurant for his blind date with Miss Joe. Soon, Joe joins him there and starts the conversation by saying that Chi Anmo might not remember it. They have already met in court. Do you recognize this woman? Story is taking an interesting turn. Chi Anmo chuckles and replies that it is his first time meeting her, but she is slightly different from the gentle person his father described her to be. Joe replies that back then she thought he was just a lawyer from some humble family. Chi Anmo says that his father's methods can only be used to deceive a girl who has no idea about the world. He continues that she might know at this point that he is an illegitimate child, so if she doesn't want to marry him, he will tell his father on her behalf. Joe calmly replies that she is not dissatisfied and suggests that they should get married since he needs to be powerful and she has to deal with her father. Joe says that this will be just a formal contract marriage, and they will live their own separate lives after being married to each other. After hearing her suggestion, Chi Anmo replies that her proposal is tempting, but he doesn't have any intentions to marry her. Joe almost shouts that it will be good for both of them and then calmly says that if he really wants to get married, she can't do that because she already likes someone else. Such a relief. When Chi Anmo says that he also likes someone, Joe sharply asks him why he is refusing her proposal then. She says that if he is worried about his lover misunderstanding the situation, she will explain it to her. Chi Anmo replies that his lover hates it when things are unclear, and he doesn't want to upset them at any cost. Chi Anmo is actually worried that Fang will run away if he knows about this situation. Joe accepts her defeat and asks Chi Anmo about his plan since his family will never accept him marrying someone from a normal family background. Chi Anmo says that he will think about it, and since he already chose his lover, he doesn't care about his family's opinion. Joe is annoyed by his clan behavior and just simply wants to get rid of her family so she can pursue her lover. After the dinner, Chi Anmo is walking alone in the parking lot, thinking about how it is good that Joe already likes someone and is sure that she will find some way to refuse this marriage. He stops in his tracks when he hears his mother calling him. The woman quickly asks him not to walk away, saying that she wants to talk to him about something. Chi Anmo coldly replies that if it is about him being good in front of Chuan's family, she doesn't have to worry about that. His mother then asks him if his father treats him well, to which Chi Anmo replies that he will not be able to endure if his father cares for him because it has never happened before. His mother tries to apologize to him, but Chi Anmo rudely cuts her off, saying that she doesn't need to act in front of him. He continues that he will give her money if she wants, but he will never fight for the position of heir. Chi Anmo walks away after that, while his mother angrily mumbles that there is no use in giving birth to him if he will not become an heir. Chi Mo is silently sitting in his car after the argument with his mother when his phone rings. He opens it to find a message from Chiyu, who has sent him a picture of his son sleeping on Fang's lap. Chi Mo smiles at the picture, thinking about how Fang always finds a way to make him happy. Thankfully, Chi Mo also has someone who will help him forgetting the dark parts of his life. Fang has spent a day with Chiyu and his son Gavin, and later they drop him off at his home. He says goodbye to them as they sit in the car, ready to leave. Gavin asks him if he really can't come to their house because he still wants to hear his stories. Chiyu gently tells his son that Fang has to go back home, but he will tell him bedtime stories. Gavin dejectedly accepts this and promises to visit Fang during the holidays. Fang assures him that he will prepare a lot of food for him when he visits and then starts to walk toward his house. Gavin looks at Fang walking away and says to Chiyu that he wants another father like Fang, since his stories are the best. I hope his child will find another father, but it can't be our little painter. Gavin looks toward his father for an answer and is confused to see him getting out of the car. Chiyu explains that he is going to get his safety seat while mumbling to himself about how his sister keeps pestering Gavin to find him a partner. While walking toward the car trunk, he spots a car parked there, and an amused smile comes to his lips as he notices Chi Mo sitting in the car. He knocks on the window, and when it opens, he asks Chi Mo if he is just going to sit there and not visit his lover. Chiyu tells him how Fang looks better in real life, and even Gavin wants to call him dad. Only your friends know how to make you angry with just one sentence. Surprisingly, Chi Mo is not angry by his words and instead says that he will hurt his reputation since Gavin calls everyone father. Chiyu quickly changes the topic, saying he just wanted Chi Mo to sense the upcoming crisis and asking him about his visit to Chion's mansion. Chi Mo tells him that he is going to work at Hung Sen from tomorrow on. Chiyu seems surprised to hear this, as he asks if his father is not sincere toward him since the Chion family's core property is Copa Global. Chi Mo replies that his father just wants to control him and will dig more pits for him to jump into. Chiyu comforts him by saying that it doesn't matter since he is not interested in that and says that maybe working at Hung Sen will not be as bad. He then tells Chi Mo that he is starting a new studio and will approach him some other day for funding. Chi Mo agrees to give him any amount of funding as long as he will keep Fang safe. He then tells Chiyu to go back since Gavin is alone in the car, instead of going to his car instantly. Chiyu asks him if he is just planning to sit there and not visit Fang. Chi Mo just rudely says that it is not his business. Chiyu walks back to his car but still decides to help his friend as he messages Fang, asking him to come back down as he forgot to give him some important documents. Meanwhile, Chi Mo is sitting in the car and is surprised at how he acted on impulse to come to Fang's. Even though they have been apart for only less than a week, he still feels that it has been a long time. He gets out of the car, hoping to catch even a glimpse of Fang. Since seeing pictures is not enough, he stares at the building, trying to spot Fang's apartment. He comes out of his thoughts when Fang suddenly appears there and asks him what he is doing here. Fang is confused to see Chi Mo standing in front of his apartment building, not understanding why he came here. Chi Mo quickly explains himself, saying that he was just passing by. Fang asks him when he came back to China, and since he didn't know about that, he also mistook him for someone else. He silently scolds himself for the ridiculous question. But Chi Mo calmly replies that he came back a few days ago and didn't get a chance to tell Fang about it. Fang quickly says that he doesn't have to give him an explanation, slightly annoying Chi Mo with his unclear statement. Without wasting any time, Fang says that he is going back and keeps reminding him that there is no reason to be nervous since they are just friends. We need to count how many times Chi Mo got friend-zoned. Before he can leave, Chi Mo approaches him and suddenly hugs him. Chi Mo whispers that he just wants to stay like that for a while, but Fang is just confused if normal friends can hug each other like this. He finally gathers the courage to talk as he reminds Chi Mo that they are standing outside and can be seen by anyone. Chi Mo replies that if he is worried about being outed, he can just lower his head to hide it on his shoulder. Fang retaliates that it will be like deceiving himself. His answer amuses Chi Mo as he comments on how Fang is not so gullible anymore. He is surprised when Fang suddenly asks him if he is in a bad mood. Chi Mo suddenly holds his head as he complains about having a headache due to his packed schedule. His statement worries Fang, who offers to take him to a nearby clinic if his condition is that bad. Chi Mo replies that the doctors won't be able to help him since he has a deficiency of Fang. Fang scolds him for lying again, but Chi Mo just leans closer, saying that his only cure is to be closer to Fang. Chi Mo has mastered imperfect pickup lines. He slowly closes the gap between their faces and huskily asks Fong if he is willing to help him. Fong is extremely shy about their closeness and tries to escape, but before he can do so, Chi Mo presses their lips together in a soft kiss. When they pull back, Fong shouts at Chi Mo for kissing him on the street. Chi Mo just smiles in return and asks if it would be okay if they kissed in private instead. Fong just yells at him to go away but becomes silent when Chi Mo softly cups his cheek. The lawyer mentions how he is more cheerful today and asks if it is because he was sad earlier. He softly asks if it is because he is special in his heart. Fong looks away, embarrassed, and tries to deny his obvious feelings. Chi Mo tells him that he doesn't need to explain himself and mischievously asks him if he is not going to invite him upstairs. Fong quickly refuses, worried that Chi Mo will try something else when they are alone. Instead of getting angry, Chi Mo just says that he will wait for the day Fong invites him on his own, and then he will get back today's share with interest. He softly presses a kiss on Fong's forehead and bids him goodbye. Fong just stands there silently, trying to understand the meaning of his words, and when he finally comes to a conclusion, he shouts that it will never happen. Chi Mo just gets in the car, playfully waving goodbye to Fong. He is happy to get a kiss, as it will last for a few days, and he is willing to patiently wait for Fong to approach him. He is satisfied with the fact that Fong will have enough time to prepare himself until he solves his problem, and he will not leave again after that. A few days later, Fong is sitting in a fancy restaurant with Ren Jia and suggests that they go to some small cafe instead. Ren Jia tells him not to worry about that, saying that it is her treat. She says that they are celebrating in advance since the court's verdict on his case will be announced in 2 days. Fong tries to argue, but Ren interrupts him, saying that she will even take him to some more places since he is working on a love story now. Fong is quickly convinced by that and promises to buy Ren a lipstick once he gets his paycheck. Ren jokes that he has friend-zoned her many times and then leaves the table just as her phone starts ringing, saying that she needs to answer this. Meanwhile, Jo is out on a date with Chi Mo and attends a call from her lover, Ren. I am in love with this second-lead couple. She coldly asks Ren what she is doing, surprising Chi Mo with her cold behavior and making him wonder who the lucky person is that caught her eye. Ren replies to Jo that she is eating out, which agitates Jo as she asks her who she is with. Fong keeps sneezing as he thinks about how this place is suitable for a date and decides to save it for reference. He looks around, thinking how this place must have private rooms and spots. Jo standing near a window on the upper floor. Does he wish to visit these private rooms with some special lawyer? Jo, who is talking to Ren on the phone, is surprised when Ren says she is eating alone. She stares at Fong through the window and hangs up the phone, angry at the fact that Ren is lying to her. Jo then turns toward Chi Mo, telling him that she has something to do, so they should leave now. Chi Mo offers to drop her off at home, but she refuses and tells him that she has to resolve some things here so he can go first. Chi Mo leaves the table while thinking about Jo's bad mood. While going downstairs, his thoughts drift toward Fong, but he suddenly stops in his tracks when he notices Fong sitting there with Ren. Chi Mo quickly hides, wanting to see the person Fong is with, and is annoyed when he notices that it's Ren. He is looking more like a detective than lawyer, trying to spy on his lover. In the meantime, Ren has come back to the table and asks Fong if he has already ordered. Fong asks her if she wants to add something else, and then tells her that he just saw her friend from the airport here. Ren is shocked to hear that and worriedly asks Fong where her friend is. Jo's coming downstairs at that time and notices Chi Mo hiding behind the stairs. He quickly says that he was taking the call, but Jo doesn't reply as she just looks at Ren and Fong sitting together. Fong asks Ren if she is alright since she is suddenly so pale. Ren replies that she is fine while thinking to herself that she shouldn't feel guilty since she doesn't owe Jo any explanation. Jo is furious to see her so nonchalant and asks Chi Mo to escort her back. Chi Mo is surprised by her sudden change of plans and asks her if she is doing this because her lover is nearby. Jo replies that since he figured it out, he should help her and gets annoyed when Chi Mo takes a step back. Chi Mo doesn't want to get too involved with her and is about to tell her that when he is interrupted by Fong calling him. Fong asks him why he is here, but Chi Mo is just hoping that he isn't listening to their conversation. Just then, Fong notices Jo staring at him and is slightly scared by her stare. He decides to break the silence as he asks if they know each other, but Jo just rudely scolds him for saying her name so casually. Fong is an innocent, stuck with 3 evil people. Ren also arrives at the scene as she shouts at Joe to stop being so rude and asks Xianmo what he is doing here. Finally figuring something out, Ren asks Xianmo if he is on a blind date with Joe. Xianmo coughs nervously and requests that the two girls stop interrupting him. He then wraps an arm around Fang's shoulder and explains that he went out with Joe so they could discuss the favor she asked him for. He tells Fang not to misunderstand anything, to which Fang blushes madly and says that he doesn't have a reason to misunderstand. Despite his excuses, Joe instantly understands the dynamic of their relationship. She then pulls Ren closer, saying that they will go first since she wants to discuss something with her. Ren asks what she wants to talk about, and Joe softly says that she wants to explain about Qianmo to her. Ren turns toward Fang and says that she will pay for his food. Fang quickly says that he will cancel his order, but Qianmo interrupts him, saying that they will eat together and he will take care of the bill. Ren is not happy with his offer and tries to argue, but Joe stops her as she quickly says goodbye to the boys. She drags Ren away, saying that she doesn't have anything to worry about, and leaves after playfully winking at Fang. Qianmo is worried that things will be difficult now that Joe has found out about his feelings. Fang just stands there, staring at him, and can't stop himself from wondering about Qianmo's relationship with Joe. After the girls leave, they sit together to eat, and Qianmo urges Fang to eat more, commenting on how he has gotten weak in just a few days that they have been apart from each other. Fang replies that he is eating well, not disclosing his habit of eating late sometimes. Qianmo is still worried about him and is thinking of finding someone who can urge Fang to eat more. It is so sweet how he cares for well-being of Fang. He softly rubs Fang's head, saying that he must eat 3 meals a day. Fang replies that he will eat, and then asks him why he was here with Joe. Qianmo explains that they were talking about business, and since Joe is on a diet, he didn't get a chance to eat much. Fang comments on how she looks good and is not fat at all. Qianmo is irritated that he has observed her so closely, and he asks Fang if he likes her. Fang quickly asks how he can do that since she comes from a powerful background. His answer doesn't satisfy Qianmo, who asks him if she was from some normal family. Would he have approached her? Fang quickly says that it is not the case and replies that Qianmo is the one who is in an unknown relationship with her. He instantly regrets his statement, but Qianmo is already smiling as he asks Fang if he is jealous. He tries to back away but fails as Qianmo suddenly hugs him and requests that Fang let him stay like this since he is very tired. Fang just mumbles that he is not sure if Qianmo is actually tired or just pretending. Listening to this, Qianmo pulls back and assures him that he is just collaborating with Joe and that there is nothing else between them. Qianmo places Fang's hand on his chest and whispers that if he still doesn't believe him, he can touch his heart to make sure that he is the only one in Qianmo's heart. Fang doesn't know, but he is the owner of that heart at this point. Fang tries to say something, but Qianmo interrupts him, saying that he will wait for him patiently, and during this time, Fang should only approach him if he has any misunderstandings. He requests that Fang only believe him, and to his surprise, Fang softly replies that he believes him. After their lunch, they walk out of the restaurant together, and Qianmo asks Fang why Ren invited him for lunch. Fang explains that Ren suggested that they visit dating spots since he is writing a love story. Qianmo is irritated that Fang agrees to go on a date with Ren but doesn't show it and instead offers to take Fang around since Ren has already left. Qianmo first takes him to a famous milk tea shop and is amused when Fang is having a hard time reading their menu. Their next stop is a Starry Night museum where Fang excitedly stares at stars while Qianmo is just staring at him. Their last stop is a famous bakery, and after their visit there, Qianmo drops Fang at his place. He offers to walk Fang to his apartment, but Fang quickly refuses, worried that he already spent so much time with Qianmo, and that things may escalate if they go to his apartment. Qianmo just smiles at his refusal and comments on how Fang didn't forget what he said last time, but he is willing to wait until Fang invites him inside. Later, Fang is sitting on his couch, worried that he messed up things with Qianmo. Just then, he receives a call from Ren Jia, who says that she wants to tell him something about Qianmo. She reveals that Qianmo might be from a wealthy family that has a strong connection with the Qian family, the owner of Copo Global Purchases. Fang asks if Joe is the one who told her that while thinking if Qianmo is the one getting married to Joe. He is relieved when Ren says that it is just her guess and says that he will personally ask Qianmo about that. Qianmo is in another meeting with Joe, who asks for his answer regarding her proposal. She says that they will just get engaged and promise to cancel the engagement on her own after some time. Chi On-mo calmly asks her if he refuses to accept the offer, she will get Fong involved in this mess. Jo replies that she will not do this since Chi On-mo also knows about her weakness. She continues that it will be the best scenario if they collaborate, since they both like someone that their families will never accept. She says that he just wants to delay all this for a while, and if Chi On-mo agrees to help her, she will consider it a favor and will repay him in the future. Chi On-mo agrees with her offer on the condition that she will help him when they have to break the engagement. Hopefully their plan will not backfire. Jo happily agrees to his condition and asks if he wants her to explain everything to Fong. Chi On-mo replies that she doesn't have to do that yet and asks her if she told Ren anything. Jo tells him how Ren is suspicious of his background, and even though she tried to cover it, she is not sure if Ren bought that or not. Chi On-mo's irritation grows toward Ren, while Jo says that he shouldn't be so arrogant about being born into a wealthy family and asks if he will ever tell Fong about it. Chi On-mo coldly replies that his situation is different since he is an illegitimate child, and even he finds it disgusting. So how can he tell that Fong? Chi On-mo need to trust the little painter or else it will only cause him more damage. He then stands to leave, but Jo stops him and says that if he continues to protect Fong like some fragile thing, he will be heartbroken when everything is finally revealed. Meanwhile, Fong visits the law firm to meet Chi On-mo and is shocked to find that he has already resigned. He walks out of the building, thinking about why Chi On-mo didn't mention anything to him. Fong suddenly bumps into someone and is annoyed to see that it is his former boss. He tries to apologize, but Chuan stops him, saying that he was the one at fault and saying that he wants to invite Fong to dinner if he is not busy. Fong quickly retreats from there, saying that he will not give up on the lawsuit, so Chuan should stop trying to coax him. This evil boss pisses me off so much. Chuan quickly says that he doesn't want that and is ready to take any punishment for his actions. He says that he just wants a favor from Fong and asks him if he has good connections with the young director of Hung Sin Entertainment since he helped him back then. Fong is confused by what he is saying and is shocked when Chuan reveals that he is talking about Chi On-mo, and he wouldn't have messed with him if he knew that Chi On-mo is from such a powerful family. Chi On-mo is trying to reach Fong through the phone, but even after several tries, the other is not picking up his call. He is thinking about what could be the reason when his younger brother calls him from the car and reminds him that the banquet hall is going to start soon. Chi On-mo goes to say something but stops when his phone starts ringing. Smiling to himself, he tells his brother to go ahead, saying that he has something to do. He picks up Fong's call and goes to ask him why he is not picking up his calls. Before he can complete his sentence, Fong interrupts him by asking why he didn't disclose his identity. I truly hates it when people steal your chance to reveal the truth at your own pace, wishing for Chi On-mo to get out of this situation quickly. Fong sounds sad as he asks Chi On-mo why he led him on when he was already getting married. Chi On-mo starts to explain himself but hears Fong's hiccup and figures out that he has been drinking. He tries to ask him about it, but Fong just yells at him, saying that it is not his concern. Chi On-mo softly replies that he will visit Fong in his apartment and explain everything to him. When Fong refuses to meet him, Chi On-mo asks him to meet at Galaxy Cafe, the place where they first met, and hangs up the phone. Fong doesn't believe anything that the lawyer said and is planning to not go there. The next morning, Chi On-mo is all dressed up to meet Fong. Before he can leave Chi-on's house, his brother stops him and says that his father wants Chi On-mo to join him on his visit to Hung Sin Entertainment. Chi On-mo replies that he can't go today, but his brother replies that he has to go even if he is worried about his lover. He can't afford to offend their father. Chi On-mo is infuriated to hear this and grabs his brother by the collar, but before the fight can escalate, their father comes there. His brother quickly explains to his father that Chi On-mo is just teasing him, and then smugly asks Chi On-mo if he is ready to go with them. Meanwhile, Fong is sitting alone in a cafe, secretly wishing for Chi On-mo to not show up. Our little painter's wish may come true, but it will only hurt him. Fong is wondering why Chi On-mo is not here yet when suddenly a woman comes and sits across from him. He tries to tell her that he is waiting for someone, but to his surprise, she knows him by name and reveals that she is Chi On-mo's mother. Whenever this woman shows up, I already prepare myself for the worst possible situation. Fong quickly says hello to her while panicking inside of the sudden situation. Before he can understand the situation, Chi On-mo's mother says that she came on her son's behalf and wants Fong to leave him. He tries to say something, But she interrupts him and says that Chi Anmo is an illegitimate child and has suffered a lot because of that. Now that he finally has a chance to gain some recognition, Fong can't hurt him. Fong just mumbles that he has heard this story before. Mrs. Zhou quickly says that she is not making this up and that he needs to leave Chi Anmo. Fong just asks if this is what Chi Anmo truly wants. His question catches the woman off guard, but she quickly replies that Chi Anmo will get everything he wants once he goes back to his family. Fong is confused by the situation and replies that he just knows that Chi Anmo has been unhappy recently, and as his mother, she should know about that. Mrs. Zhou gets angry to hear that, and she replies that Chi Anmo can't be unhappy since he is already living in Chi An's mansion. When Fong tries to argue that Chi Anmo is not this kind of person, Mrs. Zhou replies that he hasn't even known Chi Anmo for a long time. Fong's patience slowly slips away as he stands up and shouts that he just knows that Chi Anmo doesn't even care much about being an heir. Their argument is interrupted by the sound of clapping as someone praises Fong for his courage. He turns around and is surprised to see Chi standing there. I love Chi at this point. His timing is always perfect. Chi directly focuses on Jolie as he asks how she can help her husband mess with her son. He sharply asks her if she really thinks Chi Anmo will be able to bear all the pain she is inflicting on him. Jolie mumbles that she is doing this for his own good. Her answer only infuriates Chi, who replies that she is incurable and then drags Fong away from there. At Fong's home, Chi and he are sitting facing each other as he asks Chi if he has known Chi Anmo for a long time. He softly mumbles how he can now understand why a famous editor like Chi approached a newbie writer like him. Chi replies that he wasn't lying when he complimented Fong and asks him if he is really not mad. Fong innocently asks why he should be mad, to which Chi quickly says is nothing. Chi is amused by how unsuspecting Fong is, but it also makes him proud of how lovely he is. Fong says that since Chi has known Chi Anmo for a long time, he wants to ask some questions about him. Chi happily replies that he can even write a book about Chi Anmo's dark past and will happily reply to all his questions. Chi Anmo rushes toward Fong's place, worried that everything will be a mess since Fong has already met his mother. He raises his hand to knock on the door but decides to just barge inside, thinking that no matter what, he will never let Fong in. As he enters the apartment, he goes to call Fong but is surprised when he finds him having a pleasant conversation with Chi. Chi is the first one to notice him and quickly excuses himself, saying that he needs to pick up Gavin from school. As they are left alone, Fong is confused about what he should say, but to his surprise, Chi Anmo marches toward him and suddenly hugs him. Chi Anmo doesn't let any chance go to hug Fong and recharge his battery. Chi Anmo mumbles against his shoulder that Fong can't leave him. Fong softly pats his head, amused by his cute actions, and then softly asks if the story he told him in Bali was about him. Chi Anmo just pulls back a little and confesses that he is an illegitimate child who is being used as a tool by his father, and his mother only cares about money. He softly cups Fong's cheek and asks him if he looks down on him after finding the truth. Fong quickly replies that it is not the case, and the truth only makes him feel sad for Chi Anmo. His statement makes Chi Anmo think that he is pitying him, and when Fong denies that, Chi Anmo sharply asks him why he feels sad about the situation. Fong can't find the words to explain himself. Chi Anmo just gently asks him not to run away and asks if he really doesn't care about his marriage. He leans closer, saying that as long as Fong is against his marriage, he will immediately reject her. Fong tries to say something in return, but he suddenly recalls his meeting with Chi Anmo's mother. It makes him realize how Chi Anmo suffered all his life as an illegitimate child, and this helps him make a decision. He says to Chi Anmo that he doesn't want to drag him down and that it will be best if he returns to his family. Chi Anmo replies that he is not dragging him down. In fact, he is the most important person in his life. Fong argues that he must have looked forward to getting recognized by his family all his life. Our little painter just wants what is best for Chi Anmo. Even though he has no concerns about Chi Anmo's background, he still notices that he is always unhappy when his family is mentioned. He continues that he is aware this has nothing to do with how powerful Chi An's family is, but since Chi Anmo has a chance, he should really go back. In reply to his long speech, Chi Anmo replies that if he has to choose between his family and Fong, his choice will always be his lover. Fong quickly says that he doesn't want to force Chi Anmo to do anything. Chi Anmo presses a kiss on his cheek and apologizes for hiding the truth from him. Fong realizes how Chi Anmo has suffered more than him in the past and replies that he is not mad at him. Chi slowly pushes him back onto the sofa and hovers over him. Chi says that he will soon resolve this complicated issue with Chi family. Before Fong can say something, Chi continues that he has always dreamed of having a complete family since childhood, but has never been a Chi family. He leans closer and whispers that, as long as Fong helps him form a small family, he will be happy. They don't get a chance to kiss as the door bursts open and Gavin barges in. Quickly pulling away from each other, they sit straight on the sofa, with Fong heavily blushing while Chi glares at the kid. Gavin asks what they were doing, but Chi just scolds him, saying it was adult business. Chi interrupts the conversation and comments about how it looks like they are made up. He doesn't give them a chance to reply, as he reminds Chi that he should go back since his father is waiting at the company and he has to attend the banquet. Chi is ready to argue, but Fong grabs his arms and asks him to go ahead, assuring him that he will not hide any more from him. Chi attentively listens to him and leaves the apartment without arguing. Chi joins Fong saying how Chi just listens to him now. Fong just stands there, staring ahead, which makes Chi realize that he is actually very uncomfortable and was just pretending to be okay. Chi soon reaches the Chi family's headquarters and is welcomed by his brother's sharp comments. Trying to provoke him, his brother comments that he thought Chi would not show up because he was busy spending time with the little fox outside. His father coughs, grabbing their attention, and says that he won't care about Chi relationship with men. But Chi must find a suitable wife, preferably Miss Jo. His brother tries to complain, but his father just scolds him for being rude. He again turns toward Chi and says that he thinks he is getting along with Jo since her private life has calmed down and he can't disturb that. Chi keeps his sharp comments to himself as his father continues to say that he also has to maintain a good relationship with Bo Wen. Chi replies that he understands and has already drawn a line with Bo Wen, but he is the one still clinging to him and even has a connection with his second brother. Chi comebacks are epic. His brother tries to say that he is lying, but Chi just asks him where his recent cooperation with Bo Wen's family came from. He continues to hear how his brother promised to give Chi to Bo Wen as long as he helped him gain power. His brother is startled to hear that and tries to explain himself to their father. Before he can say something, his father slaps him and orders him to help his elder brother tomorrow so he can learn some manners. Their father leaves after that, and as soon as they are alone, Chi gets punched by his brother. Chi catches his brother's arm when he tries to punch him again and says that if he tries to harm anyone dear to him, Chi will not stop at a single slap. Meanwhile, Fong is taking a walk with Chi but is in deep thought. To distract him from his thoughts, Chi asks him if he thought about writing a love story like Chi suggested last time. Fong replies that he doesn't think he can write something like that. He is startled when Chi asks him if he didn't get any ideas from his date with Chi Seeing his reaction, Chi decides to stop teasing him and tells him not to worry about Chi since he is able to handle himself against Chi family. Fong replies that he has learned a lot today and will need some time to digest everything. He then thanks Chi for sharing stories about Chi with him and says that he will leave first. Chi smiles widely as he replies that it is not a big deal since he is best friends with Fong's husband. Chi has already imagined them married. I am also guilty of this crime. Fong tells him not to say such things and walks toward his apartment. He can't help but think that his journey with Chi will be much harder than he originally thought. Fong visits a convenience store and intends to buy some snacks. He wants to return to his house quickly, fearing the upcoming cold night. Inside the store, he is conflicted between buying Sichuan pepper or pickled cabbage-flavored noodles. Fong desperately wants to eat rice noodles. Still, knowing he can't afford them, he decides to go with Sichuan pepper noodles. Just as he picks a pack from the racks, a voice behind him asks if he always eats instant noodles. Without turning back, Fong replies that he can't cook and doesn't have money to buy another meal since he didn't get paid for this month's manuscript. He finally turns around and is startled to see Chi standing there, instantly asking him his reason for being there. Chi gently replies that since it's the weekend, he wants to visit Fang. Before heading to Fang's place, Chi decided to visit the store to buy some snacks for him. Fang looks at Chi cart full of different snacks and can't help but think how good it is to be rich. His attention is again diverted towards the lawyer, who asks him if he is sick since his face is red and he also wears a mask. I don't think being sick is the reason his face is red. Fang momentarily just stares at Chi in a daze but quickly gathers himself and turns around. To hide his embarrassment, He tells Chi Anmo to stay away from him, saying that his cold is contagious and Chi Anmo will also be sick if he is not careful. The lawyer seems unhappy with the situation and scolds Fong for not eating proper food when he is sick. Chi Anmo then instructs Fong to put back the instant noodles. Fong tries to argue that they taste good. Still, when Chi Anmo again repeats his instruction, a little harsher this time, Fong doesn't waste any second putting the noodles back. When Fong mumbles goodbye to his instant noodles, Chi Anmo softly explains how they will only do him more harm if he keeps eating them. Chi Anmo then asks Fong to join him for grocery shopping. Fong worriedly replies that he can't cook, but the lawyer assures him he can. Chi Anmo adds that Fong is only responsible for telling him what dish he wants to eat. Aside from that, Fong should forget instant noodles and instead fall in love with the dishes he will cook for him. And this, of course, makes the little artist blush madly. After their grocery shopping, they come back to Fong's place. Inside, Fong is embarrassed that Chi Anmo sees his messy kitchen. He explains that he has never really used it and announces that he will clean it quickly. Before he can, Chi Anmo snatches the cleaning cloth from his hand, saying he will take care of this, so Fong should rest instead. Fong tries to protest, but Chi Anmo doesn't give him a chance to do so and says that, as a patient, he should just rest. Fong hesitantly says that he will leave, but suddenly, Chi Anmo pats his head softly and then presses their foreheads together. For me, pressing their foreheads together is one of the most romantic things, and we already know our lawyer is a hopeless romantic. Fong is surprised by the bold actions of the lawyer, but Chi Anmo just calmly says that Fong doesn't feel hot now and that they will measure his temperature properly after eating. Chi Anmo tells Fong to take a nap and moves away, saying he will put the cardboard box by the door. Fong just stands there dazed, surprised at how Chi Anmo is entirely different when they are in a closed space since he never really cooked or cleaned when they lived together in Bali. He lies on the couch, still thinking about Chi Anmo, and closes his eyes with a smile on his face, happy that such an amazing person actually likes him. You're more impressive and adorable, our little artist. Fong wakes up after the food is ready and is shocked to find that Chi Anmo has cooked a lot of dishes. It's basically a feast. Chi Anmo tells him to taste the pineapple sweet and sour pork that he has recently learned to cook. Fong takes a bite of his request and instantly compliments the delicious food. He stares at the food before him and notices how most dishes are sweet. He is surprised at how well Chi Anmo remembers his food choices. He comes out of his thoughts when Chi Anmo calls him out for staring at him. Fong is embarrassed at being caught like this and quickly says he wants to eat more since the food is terrific. Chi Anmo just smiles upon hearing this and assures Fong that he doesn't have to hurry since this is not the last time he will cook for him. Once they are done eating, Chi Anmo washes the dishes while Fong retreats to the living room. Can we all agree that Chi Anmo is pure husband material? He can cook and clean and is also very caring. What else do we need? After finishing cleaning up, Chi Anmo slices some pears and goes to search for Fong, wondering if he is working. He finds Fong sitting on the couch and offers him pears for his sore throat. Fong gladly accepts the fruit, but Chi Anmo pulls it back before he can eat it and asks him to take his flu medicine first. Fong is repulsed just by seeing the medicine and sheepishly says that his cold is not that serious. He argues that the medicine will make him sleepy, which he can't afford since he still has to do a sketch. Chi Anmo still doesn't back down and instead offers to check Fong first, and if his cold is not bad, he will not force him to drink medicine. Fong accepts the deal and opens his mouth so the lawyer can put the thermometer in it. He is shocked when Chi Anmo suddenly kisses him. Fong pulls back and sharply reminds Chi Anmo that his cold is contagious. Chi Anmo is unfazed by his small tantrum and just says that if Fong passes the flu to him, he will get better soon and can continue his work. He then pushes Fong back onto the couch and hovers over him. Fong blushes hard at the situation and tries to get out of it by saying that he doesn't want to draw anymore and will just sleep after taking medicine. Chi Anmo holds Fong's arms in one hand and locks them over his head. Fong tries to escape the situation by promising he will take his medicine instantly, almost begging to be freed. Chi Anmo just rubs his thumb over his lips, talking about how they haven't touched since they visited Bali. He tells Fong how he's finding it difficult to hold himself back and softly whispers in his ear to cooperate. Fong is flustered by the shameless words of the lawyer, but he is the only one embarrassed by the situation. After that exercise, Chi Anmo takes a break to drink water. Fong is still red as he thinks about the situation and is determined not to let Chi Anmo take advantage of him since he is a man too. He instead decides to counterattack and is planning to make his first move this time. He comes out of his thoughts when Chi Anmo approaches him and asks him the reason for his sudden energy boost. Fong quickly says that it is nothing, and before they can discuss anything further, Chi Anmo gets a message on his phone. He reads Zhou Yi's message, asking him to join her for jewelry shopping as their families discuss weddings. His mood suddenly changes, which doesn't go unnoticed by Fong, who instantly starts wondering what happened. Zhou has the worst timing. Like, can't she send a message a little later? Chi Anmo is also lost in thought, thinking of a way to call off the wedding. He's surprised when Fong suddenly says he can leave if he has something urgent to do. Chi Anmo is unhappy with his statement and softly pinches Fong's cheek, asking him why he likes to push Chi Anmo toward other people. He asks Fong to honestly tell him if he is not worried about his wedding with Zhou Yi. Fong is clearly heartbroken by the situation, but he knows that his emotions will only harm Chi Anmo, even if he doesn't admit it. He finally confesses that he is not okay with the marriage. Still, he has an idea that Zhou Yi is also not happy with this arrangement. Chi Anmo is surprised that Fong has guessed the truth and reveals that Yi actually likes Ren and is just using him to escape from her family's pestering. After his discussion with Fong, Chi Anmo visits the jewelry store with Zhou Yi. The sales girls are intimidated by their notable presence. One of them comments how they make a great couple, while the other can't help but wish she could see a couple of two handsome guys. Our feud and Fujoshi minds activate at any place, anytime. They then approach the couple, ready to guide them through their jewelry shopping. Zhou Yi coldly tells Chi Anmo that she will pick something since this is all just for a show and asks him what he plans to do. Chi Anmo lets her pick the engagement rings of her choice and says he will just look around in the meantime. Zhou Yi asks if he will choose a ring for Fong, mentioning it might scare the other away. Her statement successfully triggers Chi Anmo, who retaliates that he can at least select a ring, unlike her, who is not even close to that relationship stage. Zhou is furious at this, but decides not to argue with him since he has already agreed to help her. She walks away after that, while Chi Anmo turns to the salesgirl, asking her to show him the male couple's rings. The salesgirl is ecstatic to hear this, as she has been eagerly waiting for this day. Can we be this lucky too? Meanwhile, Fong's peaceful sleep is broken by the constant ringing of his phone due to the messages from Chu. In the message, Chu complimented the storyboard Fong prepared for the first episode and sent him some romantic novels so he could improve the novel's outline. After looking at the time, Fong decides to read some of the novels before getting up. He starts reading immediately, but is startled when the main leads start getting intimate with each other. He throws the phone away, shy about reading the bold story, but then slowly picks it back up and continues reading under the quilt. Every romance reader starts like that, but we grow bold with time. After a while, Chi Anmo arrives at Fong's place and is surprised to find Fong still in his bed, tightly wrapped in his blanket. His first thought is that Fong must be sick, and he removes the blanket from him, asking him to get up. His sudden actions startle Fong, who quickly hides his phone and sharply asks Chi Anmo why he is there. Chi Anmo is suspicious of his behavior and slowly leans forward. He mentions how Fong didn't even notice him arrive when he was obviously not sleeping. Fong tries to pull back, but the lawyer just smiles mischievously while still hovering over him and inquires why he is hiding under the quilt. Chi Anmo asks Fong to show him his phone if he is not hiding something. Fong tries to hide it, but it doesn't work as Chi Anmo grabs the phone, asking him if he is watching some adult movies. Fong quickly explains that it is just a romantic novel that he is reading to use as a reference. His answer doesn't satisfy Chi Anmo, who is still curious about Fong's decision to hide under the blanket. Just then, he notices how excited the little artist looks. Finally understanding the situation, Chi Anmo generously offers to help Fong if he needs this type of brainstorming. He presses a kiss on Fong's lips, promising to teach him anything he wants to learn. Fong quickly pushes him away, and he confesses that he was reading something inappropriate. Even though he's embarrassed by all of this, Fong softly says that he really wants to learn how they do it. Okay, our shy little artist is starting to really grow up. Chi Anmo starts chuckling at his statement but quickly apologizes when an angry Fong calls him out for laughing at him. Finally getting serious, Chi Anmo says he is happy with Fong's curiosity about such things since it means he is really falling in love. Chi Anmo is aware that Fong is painfully shy when it comes to these matters and asks him if he even knows what to do. His statement offends Fong, who angrily replies that he will learn quickly. His confidence makes Chi Anmo convinced that Fong now knows such things, and he asks him if he is ready to try. His offer surprises Fong, who asks if this means Chi Anmo is willing to be a bottom. To his shock, Chi Anmo replies that he doesn't care about the positions as long as Fong is his partner. Chi Anmo is so whipped that he doesn't even care about such things. Still, I highly doubt that the little artist will be able to go through with this. We'll see. Fong is enchanted by how understanding Chi Anmo is. His blush deepens as Chi Anmo holds his hand and gently puts it on his shirt, saying they will start. Fong's hands keep trembling, and it doesn't help when Chi Anmo murmurs in his ear that he would have done this in only a few seconds. Fong yells at Chi Anmo to stay silent, saying it is his first time helping someone like this, so he is nervous. Chi Anmo replies that it is also his first time, but Fong quickly dismisses him, saying he doesn't believe that. I also don't believe this statement. Chi Anmo enjoys this situation as he tells Fong not to have biased opinions. Fong is annoyed by his chatting at this point, as he again tells him to stay silent and mentions that he is done helping. Chi Anmo chuckles at that and leans forward, pointedly saying that Fong is not yet done. His shameless statement completely short-circuits Fong's mind. Chi Anmo encourages Fong to go on with his task. Fong is taken aback by how shameless the lawyer is, but he still doesn't want to back out, fearing that Chi Anmo will make fun of him for that. Finally gathering some courage, he touches Chi Anmo's clothes, making the lawyer very happy with his actions. Fong can't motivate himself to go through with this and tries to escape, claiming that he suddenly remembered something important. He blabbers that there is also a rule about not doing it during the day. Fong almost runs away but has to stop when Chi Anmo holds his arm and pulls him. Holding Fong's chin, Chi Anmo makes Fong look back up at him. He says that Fong should forget about other things. Chi Anmo gently caresses his neck, telling him he will teach him how to be top, just like he wanted to. Fong hesitantly agrees with the offer, seeing his red face. Chi Anmo assures him that he will make this an incredibly memorable experience for him. As he wished, Fong gets to be top, but he still curses Chi Anmo for tricking him. After some time, Chi Anmo casually dresses back up while Fong just lies there, completely drained of energy. Chi Anmo, what did you do to our little artist? Fong is sure that he has lost his mind since he let Chi Anmo do such things to him in broad daylight. He squirms around due to the pain, which catches Chi Anmo's attention. Chi Anmo softly caresses Fong's cheek and asks him what he wants to eat tonight. His question triggers Fong, who is already infuriated. Fong knows that he can only eat porridge in this situation and shouts at Chi Anmo to go away. Suddenly, Fong's stomach growls loudly, making things awkward for our little artist. Knowing him well, Chi Anmo calmly tells Fong to lie down, as he will bring the seafood porridge of a large crab he had brought earlier. Fong blushes at his words and is startled when Chi Anmo suddenly kisses him and leaves to prepare food for him. Fong thinks about how evil Chi Anmo is when his phone starts ringing. He picks up the phone and is shocked to see his mother calling him. Why do these things always happen when the main leads finally begin to be happy together? On the phone, his mother cries while talking about how he must have suffered a lot during the last few years. She continues how it all happened because of her since she couldn't stand up for him in front of his dad. Fong tries to say something, but his mom ignores this and continues to say that he should be grateful to Ren. She mentions how Ren visits their house regularly, trying to convince his dad. His mom wishes they could be together again and tells him that she is willing to accept a girl older than him. Still, she warns him not to bring up that topic again. Why can't parents just accept that their children are old enough to make their own decisions? Fong is dejected to hear all this and hangs up the phone after mumbling that he will think about it. A little while later, Chi Anmo returns to tell Fong that the porridge is still cooking, but he has to leave to handle some work at the company. He is surprised when he notices that Fong has fallen asleep. Moving carefully near the artist, he softly brushes a finger against his cheek and is amused when Fong stirs in his sleep. Chi Anmo smiles to himself, thinking about how Fong must be trained to build up his stamina. He finally leaves after pressing a kiss on Fong's head and wishing him a good sleep. A sudden perspective change shows Fong standing at the altar before Chi Anmo, who asks if he is ready to start a small family with him. Just when Fong says "I do" to Chi Anmo, he is startled by the shout about how shameless he is. Fong looks to the side and finds his dad shouting at him about how he hasn't changed at all. Besides his father, his mother is crying while saying her regrets. Fong is devastated to hear all this and tries to say something when Chi Anmo sharply asks him if he's going to leave him again. Fong tries to defend himself, but Chi Anmo just pushes his hand away. saying that he knows Fong would not choose him, and walks away with the girl. Seeing this, Fong desperately calls Xianmo and is finally awake. Tears stream from his eyes from the horrible nightmare, but he finds relief in knowing that it is all just a dream. This nightmare should be eaten up by the dream eater. The next day, Fong meets up with Ren for lunch. She notices how he keeps spacing out and asks him if something is wrong. Fong apologizes to her, unable to hold himself back anymore. He confesses how he fell in love with Xianmo. Fong feels terrible for wasting Ren's efforts to convince his parents over the last few years. When he shares that with Ren, she just flicks his forehead for being silly. She explains how she tried to convince his parents of his happiness, but it is good that he made his own choice in the end. She continues to say that nothing will change between them since they are still best friends. Woo, I guess that got settled. Fong is touched by her sweet words, but before he can say anything about it, Ren comments that she doesn't like Qianmo for Fong since he is very cunning. Ren continues how she thinks Qianmo is worse than Kong Yun since Kong Yun is more smitten with Fong. Her statement surprises Fong, who instantly asks if Ren knows where Kong Yun is. Ren replies that she doesn't know that, but if Fong wants, she can help find him. Fong gets excited for a moment, but then starts looking sad as he tells Ren that he is not ready to meet him again. He continues, saying that if he had been brave enough to stand up to his parents, Kong Yun wouldn't have had to drop out. Ren dismisses his negative thoughts, saying it doesn't matter since nothing will be different if he speaks up. She adds that it would have just made his father angrier. Fong just mumbles that he still owes Kong Yun an apology and confidently says that he will personally apologize if he ever meets him. Ren is surprised by his courageous statement and is forced to admit how Qianmo has helped Fong walk out of Kong Yun's shadow. She tells him to come to her if he needs any help while silently wishing for him to go back to his former confident personality. Fong suddenly clenches his fist in his lap as he nervously tells Ren that he wants to meet his parents and confess to them. Ren gets up in surprise upon hearing his statement and sharply replies that he must take Qianmo with him. Fong responds that Qianmo is already handling a difficult situation with his family, since he can't help him with that. Fong doesn't want to add burden by worrying him. Ren is unsatisfied with his answer and shares her concerns about his parents hurting him again if he goes there alone. Fong assures her that everything will be fine since, with a friend like her, he now has a strong person like Qianmo to protect him. Fong is determined to face everything head-on this time and doesn't want to run away anymore. I just hope Fong doesn't get hurt in the process and achieves what he wants. Soon, a month passed, and Qianmo was on another fake date with Zhou Yi as they discussed the upcoming engagement event. Qianmo asked Zhou Yi if she is not worried about hurting Ren's feelings as she is getting engaged to him. Yi replies that she wishes she also had a sweet lover like him, but Ren is very calm with the situation. She continues that right now, her only choice is to get married to him, just as her father wishes. Yi dejectedly says that even if they sacrificed everything for the people they love, it will be no good for them since they will still be powerless in the family. She says that troubles will still follow them, so he has to go through this for a better future. Her words deeply affect Qianmo, who can't help but think about how they will face many difficult situations in the future. Yi is more realistic and understands the difficulties that they might face. Hopefully, Qianmo will take her advice and not overlook the potential threats. After a long day at work, Qianmo walks out of the company's building, surprised to see that it is snowing. He decides to send a text message to Fang, but before he can do so, he overhears two girls talking about some handsome guys sitting at the convenience store. They suddenly notice the guy standing across them and happily cheer when he waves at them. Qianmo also follows their line of sight and is surprised to see Fong standing there, waving at him. He rushes toward his little artist and scolds him for getting out in this cold weather, worried that he will get sick. Qianmo tries to grab Fong's hand, but the other pulls it back, replying that he was looking for Chu earlier at the studio. He decided to come there when he noticed Qianmo was about to get off work. Seeing Qianmo's solemn expression, Fong softly apologizes for pulling his hand back. He continues that he just arrived there and is also dressed warmly. Despite his explanation, Qianmo turns away from him, looking angry. Fong is surprised at his strange reaction, not understanding why he is angry without any reason. When he confronts Qianmo about this, Qianmo calls him out for lying, saying that he was obviously in that convenience store for a long time. This surprises the little artist, making him instantly ask how Qianmo knows about that. Qianmo doesn't answer the questions and just pinches Fong's cheeks, telling him to text him next time instead of hiding. After they agree on that, Qianmo offers him his hand, which Fong is reluctant to take, worried that people from Qianmo's company will see them. Chi Anmo is unfazed and holds Fong's hand. He can't help but think about how careful Fong is because of him, making it harder for him to go with his engagement plan. After they both get in Chi Anmo's car, Fong softly asks him not to be angry, reminding him of their agreement to eat hot pot at his house tonight. Instead of giving him a reply, Chi Anmo suddenly kisses him. The lawyer will give our little artist a heart attack one of these days. Fong pushes him back quickly and sharply asks him what he is doing. Chi Anmo is almost pouting as he tells Fong how angry he is at his impulsiveness. His demeanor changes as he softly reminds Fong to not be so obedient and to be strong-willed in front of him. Fong tears up at his words and agrees. He then smiles brightly at that and happily says that they should buy a lot of meat. Chi Anmo reminds Fong how he got a stomach ache for eating a lot of meat last time. Fong still stays cheerful as he tells Chi Anmo to drive faster so that they can eat hot pot already. At Fong's place, as soon as they are done eating hot pot, Chi Anmo pounces on Fong Ge. He presses soft kisses on the little artist, who half-heartedly tries to push him away. Fong stops struggling when Chi Anmo mentions how he will get engaged next Saturday. He reminds Fong that it is just a fake engagement and that whatever he does with other people at this time will all be fake. Fong stares wide-eyed at Chi Anmo, who continues that he is only being sincere towards him and that Fong is the only person he loves. Fong hears Chi Anmo's unspoken pleading not to leave him and realizes how Chi Anmo is uncomfortable with all this. Smiling, he wraps his arms around Chi Anmo's neck and assures him that he knows all this, so he has nothing to worry about. Fong knows he should be upset in this situation, but he understands Chi Anmo's feelings. He then successfully distracts Chi Anmo by actively proposing another round. This pair is really paying attention to each other's feelings, even when they have personal issues to resolve. On the day of the engagement, Chi Anmo is at the venue, fully dressed up, and is trying to call Fong. Even after several tries, he gets no response, which starts worrying him. But he doesn't get a chance to dwell on it longer as his brother appears. His brother asks him about his sour mood on a happy day like that and tries to provoke him by mentioning how he is suffering injustice for being forced into this marriage. Before Chi Anmo can reply, Jo Yi appears and takes Chi Anmo away by saying that she has something important to discuss with him. They walk out together as Jo Yi whispers that he needs to look happy since they can't turn their backs now. She reminds him that only by getting power will he be able to face all difficulties and stay by Fong's side. Meanwhile, Fong is with Ren, who is holding his phone, and secretly blocks Chi Anmo's number from his phone. I am so annoyed. Why would she do that? Completely unaware of what Ren just did, Fong turns to her after stopping a taxi and says he doesn't need her to book him a ride online now. Ren gives back his phone nonchalantly and asks him if he's going to his home today so he doesn't have to attend the engagement party. Fong softly replies that he chose that day since Chi Anmo is working hard to build their future and he doesn't want to hold him back at this moment. He determinedly says that he wants to find his own way to Chi Anmo. With that said, Fong leaves after bidding Ren farewell. As the taxi drives away, Ren remains standing there. She thinks of Fong's hard work, but she can't let go of the possibility that he will get hurt by his parents again. Ren then stops a taxi and tells the driver to take her to the Starry Sky International Hotel. She doesn't feel guilty about her actions and thinks that if Chi Anmo really loves Fong, he will do the same thing as her. At the hotel, people are discussing how cold it is outside, while Chi Anmo can't stop thinking about what Fong is doing at this time. He comes out of his thoughts when he asks him to join her since many of the guests have already arrived. Before they can head inside, Ren arrives. She heavily pants as she rushes in. He asked Ren why she is there when she clearly told her not to, but Ren just moves past her toward Chi Anmo. Ren tells him that Fong is leaving and his flight is at 1 in the afternoon. Hopefully, she actually wants to do something good for Fong and is not just backstabbing him. Chi Anmo is baffled to hear this and asks Ren for more details. She tells him how Fong got in touch with his parents a month ago. Ren explains how Fong decided to go back home since Chi Anmo is getting engaged to someone else now. Chi Anmo is shocked to hear this and exclaims his surprise, knowing that Fong is clearly aware that this is just a fake engagement. Ren calmly replies that even after the engagement, Chi Anmo will have to act a lot, and Fong will still have to go through this type of situation numerous times. Chi Anmo is momentarily confused by all this. Still, when Ren urges him to make a choice, he instantly replies that he never doubted his choice. Chi Anmo asks her about Fong's whereabouts, and she happily tells him that Fong is at Jeonju Airport. She adds that he can reach him in time if he leaves now. He tries to stop him. saying that he can't go like this and that he will get more chances to reunite with his love in the future. Shi Anmo ignores her warnings and says every moment he spends with Fong is important. He continues by telling how, in this short life, they have wasted too much time living in the current moment. Shi Anmo then leaves without saying anything else. Joey can only just sigh, mentioning how arranging this act was a waste of time and effort. Ren apologizes, but Yi interrupts and asks how Ren will repay her since she snatched her fiancé to help her friend. Ren tries to reply, but Yi again interrupts her and asks her to think carefully about what she wants. Yi softly caresses Ren's cheek, saying that if Ren can give her the right answer, she will also be as brave as Chi Anmo. I hope they'll soon get together, as well. In the meantime, Chi Anmo is stuck in traffic at 11:35 a.m. and worriedly asks the driver how long it will take to get to the airport. The taxi driver replies that it will at least take another 20 minutes since roads are busier than usual due to the weekend, even though they are close to the airport. Shi Anmo announces that he will get off there, which worries the taxi driver. He quickly gives the driver a bundle of cash and leaves the car. He also ignores the driver's warning about the cold weather and rushes toward the airport on his feet. Shi Anmo keeps scolding himself about not realizing that Fong was only putting up a brave act and just wishes that the artist wouldn't leave him. At the airport, Fong is ready to go through security, while Chi Anmo desperately wishes that Fong wait for him. Are we getting the lovely airport reunion, where the hero stops a plane to get to his lover? Fong looks at his phone while thinking about how Chi Anmo must be very busy since he hasn't called him since that morning. He tries to guess if it is time for engagement but forces himself to stop thinking about that and instead worry about the boarding. He emerges from his thoughts when a young girl approaches him and asks if he is the artist Fang Ge. He is surprised at how she can recognize him and asks her about it. The girl is ecstatic that her guess is right and tells him she recognized him through the luggage she saw on his Weibo. She holds his hands with a bright smile while Fong just awkwardly stands there. The girl asks permission to take a picture with him and mentions how she is a big fan of his stories, saying how she likes the two male characters in his story. Fong is surprised at actually meeting a BL fan and gets ready to take a picture with her. After taking the photo, the girl excitedly tells him how she will save it as an heirloom, but Fong just sheepishly smiles, not knowing how to respond to a fan. His eyes widen in shock when he suddenly hears Chi Anmo calling him. He turns around quickly and asks Chi Anmo why he is there instead of his engagement party. Chi Anmo rushes forward and hugs Fong Ge tightly, while cursing at the fake engagement party. Chi Anmo rubs his hair softly and tells him that he is no longer getting engaged, so Fong should stop trying to get rid of him. Fong is confused by the statement and asks when he tried to get rid of him. Chi Anmo points at his fan eating watermelon from the side, asking who she is and mentioning how he saw Fong hugging her from afar. Instead of Fong, the girl, who is now hiding behind a pillar, quickly replies that she is just the great Xiao Ge's big fan, so he doesn't have anything to worry about. Chi Anmo is still suspicious, as he asks Fong if she is really just a fan. Fong is annoyed by his persistent behavior and says that he is a popular manhwa artist, so Chi Anmo should stop embarrassing him by being jealous without any reason. I love Fong's little tantrums. Chi Anmo rubs his head against Fong's shirt, calling him ungrateful for not caring for him when he ran in the cold weather just to stop him from leaving. Fong quickly replies that he understands while trying to stop Chi Anmo from rubbing on him with his drenched clothes. He gets serious after that as he asks Chi Anmo what exactly is happening and says that it is his fault for not mentioning that he was leaving. Chi Anmo dejectedly asks if Fong is really leaving him with no plan of ever coming back. Fong almost shouts that it is not like that and asks him how he knows about his leaving. Chi Anmo just sighs, realizing that he got fooled by Ren, but he just wants to thank her for the help. He suddenly gets on one knee in front of Fong and says he was thinking about useless things before, but now his mind is clear. He continues that Fong is the most important person in his life and wants to spend his life with him. He takes out the ring from his pocket and asks Fong if he will marry him. I am waiting for this proposal. Let's just hope our little artist gives us the answer we want. Fong is surprised by the sudden turn of events, but before he can reply, a voice from the side says how disgusting this is. Some other people also start commenting about corrupting public morals, while one particular woman shouts about how they are portraying a bad example. It can't be helped. Some people are still close-minded in this day and age. Fong is heartbroken by all the harsh comments, but to his surprise, his fan stands up to his defense. She shouts that this is discrimination since the love they share is not a crime, and if they are different, it doesn't mean they are wrong. Fong's eyes fill with tears as some other people also stand their ground to support them, calling the haters out for their disgusting behavior. People start chanting supportive words, commenting on how cute the couple is, and wishing for them to be happy together. Fang finally turns toward Qianmo, who is still holding the ring in his hand, and helps him stand up by holding his hand. Fang explains that he wants to meet his parents so he can surprise Qianmo if everything goes right with his family. He suddenly takes out a ring and says he didn't expect Qianmo to beat him in proposing. Double proposal. Our little artist is sly, and he is slaying. Qianmo laughs upon seeing this, happy at how they think alike. He tries to put the ring on Fang, but the other pulls back his hand, saying that he still has to speak the important words and will not put on the ring until then. Qianmo is surprised when Fang suddenly kisses him and whispers that he accepts the proposal. Qianmo adoringly smiles at Fang, hearing him mumble about how nervous he is in front of so many people. He asks Fang if he has already used up all of his bravery, to which Fang replies that he still has some more and asks why Qianmo was questioning that. Qianmo replies that they should kiss again, but Fang refuses, telling him not to force his luck. On one side, Fang's fan is recording, not believing that she got to witness a fairy tale like this. Okay, the hero didn't stop the plan, but that double proposal was 1,000 times more romantic. After their proposal, the couple goes to a hotel where Qianmo took a bath to avoid getting sick. From outside, Fang asks him if he is done, telling him that he brought his change of clothes. Qianmo tells Fang to bring the clothes in, but the other refuses, worried that something might happen. So, instead of complying, Fang leaves the clothes outside the bathroom while telling Qianmo about it. Before Fang can get a chance to escape, Qianmo comes out of the bathroom. He wipes himself dry as he asks if Fang doesn't want to bring the clothes to him. Qianmo leans closer to Fang and asks him if he is trying to run away again. Fang quickly replies that if he wanted to run, he would have done that while he was out to buy Qianmo's change of clothes. Quickly realizing that his statement might not sound good, Fang instantly explains that he doesn't want to run and is just a misunderstanding. Qianmo suddenly nudges him, asking why he was delaying bringing him clothes just now. Fang tries to reply, but Qianmo steps forward, causing Fang to fall on his back. Fang reminds Qianmo that he agreed to stay just because the lawyer complained about being cold. Qianmo is unfazed and simply presses a kiss on Fang's cheeks. Qianmo tells Fang to be good since they are now alone and continues to kiss him. After a few moments, he pulls back and asks if Fang thinks he will be safe after all that teasing at the airport. Fang replies that this is why he asked to return home since the walls are thin. Qianmo just takes it as a declaration that Fang also wants to be with him, so he continues. When Fang wakes up again after a while, he carefully turns around in Qianmo's arms, hissing at the pain. When Qianmo tightens his arms around him, Fang quickly pulls away while scolding Qianmo. To his surprise, Qianmo remains unmoving, which worries Fang. He inches closer to Qianmo and checks his forehead. He is baffled to find that the lawyer is burning up with a high fever. Fang carefully calls Qianmo, who finally opens his eyes. Fang is relieved to see this and stops Qianmo from talking when he tries to say something. He goes to bring him some water, telling him to moisten his throat. Qianmo sits up from the hospital bed as Fang explains that Qianmo has a fever of 40 degrees Celsius and has only just improved after an injection. He also scolds Qianmo for acting strong when he is sick, but Qianmo is just thinking about how embarrassing this is. Determined to restore his reputation soon, Qianmo tries to think up an excuse for he doesn't want Fang to think that he got sick because of their last night's activities. He tries to say something again, but Fang interrupts him just as Chu approaches. Chu has such a bright personality, and how he teases Qianmo is amusing. Fang explains that Chu was the one who helped bring him to the hospital, so Qianmo should thank him. Chu stands with a bright smile and an arm around Fang's shoulder as he says they don't need to be so polite. Qianmo mentions how Chu showed up at the right time and asks him what happened at the engagement party after he left. Chu tells him the event was canceled, and everyone left after that. With a bright smile still on his face, he continues that Qianmo's dad gave the Zhou family 20% of the profit from new projects as compensation. Listening to all this, Fang realizes that Qianmo left the engagement party because of him. Chu further tells Qianmo that what he did was unreasonable, and it would be the bare minimum if his dad cut him from the family. Qianmo replies that he is aware of his dad's anger and is sure that he will punish him in more ways. He continues that his dad might make him lose his job, so if he struggles financially, which will push him to admit defeat in front of everyone. Qianmo closely studies Fang's expression while saying all this and asks him if he is afraid. He doesn't give Fong a chance to reply and continues that he should be prepared for more challenging days if he decides to stay with him. Chi Anmo suggests he can help Fong leave the country and hide somewhere for a while. Not happy with his suggestion, Fong shouts at Chi Anmo. He tells him not to assume things about him. Fong then cups Chi Anmo's face and says that Chi Anmo was the one who said he wanted to join Fong to meet his parents. He says that Chi Anmo can come home with him after getting better, or Fong will stay there. He sharply tells Chi Anmo that he has no other options than this. Chi Anmo is ecstatic to hear this, and his heart is watching Fong make a comeback. Shu has witnessed their display of love for each other, and after a while, he leaves the two lovebirds. As he walks outside, he can't stop thinking about whether he will ever find true love like that. He emerges from his thoughts when his son, Gavin, calls him from the side. He looks toward his son and is astonished to see a dangerously handsome man holding his son. He is instantly hit by Cupid's arrow and is amazed at running into a person who is so close to his ideal. Shu hears his son calling the handsome man a teacher, and it makes him more happy as he knows teachers are good at handling kids. The only thing that worries him is the height of this strange man, as he is worried if he will be able to take him down. Oh, so Shu was on the same team as Chi Anmo, and here I thought he plays for Fong Be's team. Shu finally turns toward his son and asks why he is alone with his teacher. Gavin introduces the person with him as his new gym teacher. As Shu picks him up, Gavin whispers to his father about his handsome teacher. This kid is determined to find a new father, and I am rooting for him since this handsome teacher suits Shu. Shu formally introduces himself to the teacher, who tells him he is a new PE teacher named Shang Kong-yoon. Do you guys recognize this name? Yes. This is our little artist's very dear friend who confessed to him. Shu's heartbeat starts to race upon hearing Kong-yoon's voice, as it is his favorite frosty type, as if it was the deciding factor. Shu intends to go after Kong-yoon, not wanting to think about anything else. He requests Kong-yoon to look after his son and asks if he can have his contact info. Shu is ecstatic when Kong-yoon agrees and asks him to join them for a hot pot since it is cold today. Kong-yoon tries to refuse, but Gavin interrupts him and insists he should join them since hot pot is only tasty when more people eat together. We all love a supportive kid. Shu quickly adds that he will also invite some of his friends. Kong-yoon finally gives in, unable to resist a child, and says he will join them after informing the teacher in charge. Shu says that they will wait for him. With the father and son left alone, Gavin asks if his father likes his new teacher. Gavin shares how he gathered some information and that his teacher is also single. This child, I swear, he is an excellent wingman for his father. Shu gently reminds him not to say these things in front of his teacher since kids are not supposed to interfere in such matters. Gavin replies that he knows, while thinking to himself that it is also his concern since he has to find another dad. Meanwhile, Fong and Chi Anmo are still in the hospital when Fong gets a call. The person on the other end asks if Chi Anmo is feeling better. Fong answers that they are about to leave the hospital since Chi Anmo is much better now. Apparently, the person who called is Chu, who tells Fong that he is going out for a hot pot with Gavin and a new friend. He invites them to join them. Fong says he will ask Chi Anmo, but Chi Anmo is already listening to the conversation and refuses to join them, saying he still wants to spend time with his lover instead of joining a single dad. Fong is embarrassed to hear his words, while Chu replies that Chi Anmo must feel much better now since he is thinking about deepening his love, ignoring the useless banter between friends. Fong softly tells Chu that the doctor advised Chi Anmo to only eat light food for a few days so they couldn't join him. Chu replies that it is fine and hangs up after telling Fong not to go easy on Chi Anmo and just cook plain porridge for him. After his call with Chu, Fong turns to Chi Anmo and invites him to his house for some porridge. Chi Anmo is excited at his offer and asks Fong if he can take this as an invitation for them to live together. Wah, hold your horses. Chi Anmo, that's too big of a jump from porridge. Fong blushes as he seriously thinks about it and replies that since Chi Anmo doesn't have any other place to go, he is taking him in temporarily. He instantly regrets his statement, thinking his words might have hurt the lawyer who left his family just for him. His regret grows when Chi Anmo sadly says that it must be just his wishful thinking. Fong replies that it is not like that and that what Chi Anmo is asking is not impossible. Chi Anmo smiles at this answer, surprised by Fong's confidence at crucial moments. He suddenly leads Fong outside by taking his hand, saying they should go home since he can't wait to live together. Wow, this lawyer is really cunning. He somehow wormed his way in like that. The following day, Fong stands in his kitchen, carefully following the recipe for frozen dumplings. Chi Anmo calls Fong, pauses, and leans on the doorframe. He contently watches over, happy that Fong has woken up early to prepare breakfast for him. Suddenly, Fong burns his hand, and Chi Anmo quickly rushes to Fong's side. Chi Anmo immediately instructs him to put his hand under the cold water. Fong is surprised at his sudden appearance, but Chi Anmo is more focused on Fong's burn and scolds him for being careless. Fong tries to dismiss Chi Anmo's worry, which ends up upsetting Chi Anmo. Instead of pursuing the issue, Chi Anmo lets it go. He does not want to scold someone injured, so he just settles by flicking Fong's forehead. He then asks Fong if he has anyone at home, and after Fong says he doesn't have any, Chi Anmo rushes to bring him toothpaste to help with his pain. As Chi Anmo walks away, Fong guiltily thinks about how he wanted to prepare a surprise, but it turns into a disaster instead. Don't be so harsh on yourself, little artist. Cooking takes time to learn and get used to. Chi Anmo soon returns and carefully applies the toothpaste to Fong's burned hand. He asks Fong if he is still in pain, to which Fong quickly assures him that he's okay. Chi Anmo stands up to leave again, saying that he will prepare breakfast and buy some ointment. Before he can leave, Fong stops him by holding his shirt and dejectedly says he is useless since he can't even cook frozen dumplings. Listening to his self-critical statement, Chi Anmo softly cups his face, commenting on how he is being absurd. He continues that Fong is just not that skilled yet, but it is not an issue since he will teach him how to cook if he wants to learn. Fong is happy to hear this, but Chi Anmo says he should just leave cooking to him for a while since he is jobless and has nothing better to do. He softly kisses Fong's hand, telling him to take care of his hands since he has to support them with his drawings. This makes Fong realize how he needs to be a breadwinner now that Chi An's family is against Chi Anmo. He pats Chi Anmo's hand that is holding his and assures him that he will do his best to support their little family. In return, Chi Anmo kisses his cheek, saying how the sugar daddy is so reliable while thinking how his little artist is easily persuaded. It's because it's you who said it, Chi Anmo. Chi Anmo goes to the market as promised, and after buying some ointment, he heads to the supermarket to buy some lamb for Fong. His plans are disrupted when a guard from Chi An's family approaches him and tells him that his father is inviting him to the car. Chi Anmo is not very surprised as he complies and greets his father after getting in the car. Without even greeting him back properly, his father starts yelling at him. His harsh words don't affect Chi Anmo, who just addresses his father formally by his surname and asks why he is looking for him. This makes his father furious, yelling that Chi Anmo can't undo his wrongdoing by changing how he addresses him. Mr. Chi An continues, saying that he wants Chi Anmo to go to Joe's family with him and apologize. And if Chi Anmo refuses to do so, his father threatens to destroy Fong's reputation. That's such a low blow. You'll only make Chi Anmo detest you more. Chi Anmo is not scared by his father's threats, as he boldly refuses to go with him and warns him about touching Fong. Mr. Chi An says that it is not his decision. Still, Chi Anmo just ignores him and starts reading about how Tongsin's studio was investigated by the police. Now, it happens that Chi Anbai was also one of the investors in that company. For those who forgot, Chi Anbai is Chi Anmo's older brother. Mr. Chi An angrily asks him where he heard that rumor, and without waiting for his reply, he continues that Chi Anbai has nothing to do with that studio. He claims that Chi Anmo should know if his brother was involved in that or not since he was the one who helped him clean up, and there is always evidence that is overlooked. Chi Anmo is still calm as he replies that he has evidence against Chi Anbai. With Mr. Chi An's skills, he can only use some money to protect Chi Anbai from going to prison. His father tries to snatch the phone from his hand, but Chi Anmo quickly pulls his hand back. He tells his father that he is getting old. Since he already abandoned his son, he is unwilling to give up the other, even though he is useless. Mr. Chi An shouts that Chi Anbai is still his brother. Still, Chi Anmo is unfazed by emotional blackmail and is disgusted by having such a family. With a calm demeanor, Chi Anmo continues that he didn't say he would surely deal with Chi Anbai, and as long as they don't bother his lover, he will obviously not take any action against them. Chi Anmo tells his father to think about it and leaves the car, ignoring his father's yelling that he will soon regret his decision. Chi Anmo is satisfied with his actions, as choosing Fong over his family was the right decision. Good thing Chi Anmo still has a card he could use against his family. Soon, Chi Anmo returns home and slowly approaches Fong, who is talking to his mother on the phone. Fong's mother tries to convince him to go back home, assuring him that his father won't harm him anymore. Fong refuses, saying that he is busy with work and will be during the spring festival if he decides to return. Still, train tickets are too expensive during that period, so he promises his mother that he will visit sometime after the spring festival. A startled sound escapes from his throat as Chi-On-mo suddenly hugs him from behind. His mother asks him what happened. Fong quickly replies that his cat jumped on him. He then says he has something important to do and hangs up the phone. After cutting the call, Fong scolds Chi-On-mo for scaring him. The lawyer calmly replies that he only did that because he is cold and asks Fong if he can warm him up. Fong quickly holds his warm hands and calls him out for lying, but Chi-On-mo doesn't back down and replies that his hands are warm since he is in good health. He guides Fong's hands to his face, saying that it is really cold outside, and if he doesn't believe him, he can check his face and lips. Chi-On-mo really loves attempting whenever he gets the chance. Fong pulls away, asking him to stop teasing. Chi-On-mo changes the topic by saying that if Fong wants to go home for the new year, he can buy him tickets. Instead of being happy at the offer, Fong asks him if he will be able to spend the new year alone despite it being their first year together. Chi-On-mo says he wants to be with Fong in the new year. However, he also doesn't want to be selfish, as Fong's parents may never forgive him if they find out about them. He continues that it will be more difficult for Fong to spend the spring festival with his family in the future, so he should go now. Fong interrupts him before he can say something else and says that he doesn't want to hide their relationship or leave Chi-On-mo on his own. Chi-On-mo is happy with the fact that Fong intends to stay with him but realizes that Fong is just being emotional, so he should be the wise one. He again tries to convince Fong, saying that he might regret his decisions later. Fong replies that he doesn't know if he will regret his decisions in the future, but he is sure that if he goes back home, his parents will arrange blind dates for him. Chi-On-mo's attitude instantly changes as he backhugs Fong, saying he can't return. Our little artist knows very well how to handle his stubborn lawyer. Fong pokes Chi-On-mo's cheek and tells him that he doesn't have to only think about what is good for him. He starts to look sad as he remembers how his parents did a lot of things, claiming that they were all for his well-being. Even when we tried to stop them, they didn't listen to him. Chi-On-mo quickly apologizes for inadvertently bringing up a sore topic. Fong replies that it is fine, but Chi-On-mo should remember that he is also a grown man like him. He claims he will listen to any advice, but the final decision will always be his. Chi-On-mo smiles at Fong's statement and pulls him closer, asking if he can give advice to this grown man. Fong is momentarily worried about having some flaw that Chi-On-mo is about to mention, but to his surprise, Chi-On-mo pushes him onto the chair, saying that a couple should celebrate moving in together. Fong should understand by this point that Chi-On-mo only wants one thing. Chi-On-mo leans closer and says that since they didn't do anything last night, so they should compensate for the lost time now. Fong plans to let Chi-On-mo do as he pleases, but of course, within limitations. However, Chi-On-mo doesn't plan on doing just that. Fong tries to remind him that he just had a high fever yesterday, but Chi-On-mo is unfazed as he casually says he is now well rested. Copying Fong's speaking style, he asks him to decide quickly. Still, his statement only enrages Fong, who shouts at him not to copy his style of breaking his sentences. Fong tries his best to stop Chi-On-mo's advances, but nothing works for him. Just then, his phone starts ringing, and he tries to pick it up but has to stop when Chi-On-mo says that it is his choice to pick up the phone or not. But he will not stop either way. Fong has no choice but to curse Chi-On-mo and accept his fate. Meanwhile, Chu is sitting in his school office, looking exhausted. He's having a bad day since Fong is not answering his calls after delaying the draft, and then he gets a message from the school that Gavin got into a fight. He is thinking about how Gavin is starting to act rebellious when he is still too young. Chu snaps back to reality after hearing the footsteps and unintentionally hides behind a stack of papers, not wanting to face the head teacher so soon. He is surprised when, instead of the head teacher, Kong Yoon walks in, followed by a female teacher. The teachers don't notice him, so Chu keeps hiding and looks at the scene unfolding before him. The female teacher confesses to Kong Yoon and asks him out, but he refuses, saying he already likes someone else. The female teacher grows agitated at that and asks him if the other person even knows about his feelings since he has been single since college. She finally asks him to at least give her a chance, reasoning that she went to that elementary school just for him, but Kong Yoon coldly refuses. "Girl, it was your choice in the end to go to that school. Don't put the blame on Kong Yoon." The woman runs away, crying and yelling about how Kong Yoon is cold-hearted and deserves to be single for life. Shu tries to hide quickly after she leaves, but his plan fails as Kong Yoon calls him out. He stands up slowly and quickly apologizes for eavesdropping. Kong Yoon is surprised to see him as he was expecting some naughty kid. To avoid rumors, Kong Yoon requests that Chu keep the things he just heard secret. Chu assures him that he will not tell anyone about this matter, while thinking about how Kong Yoon is not as cold as he portrays himself to be since he doesn't want to expose the girl. Changing the topic, Kong Yoon asks if Chu is there for what happened. Chu replies that he got a call from the school. He looks worried and says he didn't expect that kind of behavior from Gavin. Chu becomes shocked when Kong Yoon tells him that Gavin didn't actually get into a fight. Kong Yoon explains that a kid named Xiao Hua from another class wanted to play with Gavin. Still, Gavin's classmate, Xiao Jiang, didn't want him to play with the other kid, so these two got into a fight. Wow, our little Gavin is so popular that others are fighting over him. Chu comments on his son's popularity at school while thinking about how Gavin is trying to create opportunities for him since this kind of thing wouldn't really need a parent's involvement. Kong Yoon replies that Gavin is adorable, so everyone likes him, and he apologizes to Chu for calling him over for some misunderstanding. Chu says it is fine since he would have come there either way to pick Gavin up. Kong Yoon tries to leave, saying he will send the head teacher instead, but Chu quickly stops him. When Kong Yoon turns around, Chu offers that they should go out for a drink tonight so he can apologize for what happened just now. Kong Yoon refuses, saying that he knows Chu didn't do it intentionally. Chu suddenly takes a step closer to him and whispers that Kong Yoon shouldn't reject his offer so quickly. I love Chu's determination. He knows what he wants and is not afraid to go after it. Chu shares that he also doesn't want to go out with a woman, so maybe they are similar to each other. Seeing Kong Yoon's shocked face, Chu is happy with the fact that his guess is correct. He doesn't give Kong Yoon a chance to refuse, as he says he will send the address through WeChat and wait for Kong Yoon at 8. Chu leaves after that, while Kong Yoon is left there, thinking about how the other managed to see through his facade. Outside the school, Chu sits in the car with Gavin. Chu still thinks about how Kong Yoon showed his emotions so easily, even though he acts distant. Seeing the silly smile on his father's face, Gavin asks him who he is thinking of. Chu smiles at that as he confronts his son for including his friends in his act. Gavin replies that he only did it for his father's happiness. Sweet kid. His dad's happiness means his own happiness. Chu then asks if Gavin knows that Kong Yoon already likes someone else. This successfully startles Gavin, who says that since they both like Kong Yoon, his dad should talk with his teacher and tell him they can give him double love so he can come over to them instead. Chu chuckles at his son's obliviousness about love but promises him that he will bring Kong Yoon back to their house. He then tells Gavin to sleep over at his aunt's tonight and makes him promise not to tell them about any of this since it is a secret between them. Gavin happily agrees, rooting for his father. At 8 p.m., Kong Yoon sits in a bar as promised and waits for Chu. The people around him keep staring at him, and Kong Yoon is not used to such attention. He wonders if that place is meant for people like him since only men are there. Wow, Kong Yoon seems to be as innocent as our little artist. Just then, a young, beautiful man approaches him and tries to hit on him. Kong Yoon coldly replies that he is waiting for someone, but the other man is unfazed by his rejection. He even offers that Kong Yoon should join him tonight, promising that he will fall in love with him. The young man tries to say something else but is interrupted by Chu, who just arrives. The man argues that he was there first, so Chu should leave according to the rules. Chu just smiles in return and says it doesn't matter if he is late since Kong Yoon is waiting for him. And Kong Yoon also confirms this. This is why you should listen first instead of blindly pushing yourself into other people. The young man doesn't back down as he tries to make Kong Yoon realize that he can't pick an old man over him. Chu calmly replies that he is not like him, so he should go and take the hint. The man is shocked, realizing that Chu meant Kong Yoon is the bottom. The other guy leaves when Chu sits beside Kong Yoon. The two completely ignore the other guy, and Chu asks if Kong Yoon has waited too long. The teacher replies that he has just arrived himself. Chu suddenly puts his arm around Kong Yoon's shoulder and tells him to relax since he is not at school now. He removes his hand, sensing Kong Yoon's discomfort, and asks if he is scared. He quickly apologizes, saying he didn't know such accidents could occur there. Kong Yoon looks away and replies that he was just surprised. Changing the topic, Chu cheerfully says he will order a drink for them while Kong Yoon thinks about how everything feels calmer now that he is surrounded by Chu's scent. As Chu orders, Kong Yoon keeps trying to understand why he was asked out. Chu looks back and asks if Kong Yoon gets drunk easily. The teacher replies that he doesn't drink much. Hearing this, Chu is relieved that he didn't order something strong. At the same time, Chu is aware that the after effects of the drink can be strong. Still, he doesn't reveal this, but he wants the opportunity to make Kong Yoon open up a little. Don't be a fool, Chu. I hope this doesn't backfire on you. Kong Yun finally asks if Chu just invited him there for a drink, to which Chu instantly says no. Chu pulls him closer with an arm around his shoulder and replies that he noticed how Kong Yun is very reserved, so he should come out more often. Kong Yun blushes when he sees how close their faces are and quickly pulls away. He thanks Chu for his invitation and tries to say something else, but just then, their drinks are served. Chu encourages him to drink since he is already there. Kong Yun takes his advice and drinks the glass in one gulp as Chu cheers him on. After finishing his drink, Kong Yun asks Chu not to call him a teacher outside the school. This makes Chu ask if he should call him Kong Yun or Xiao Yun instead. Hearing the name Xiao Yun sends Kong Yun into his past, as no one has called him that since his mother passed away. He remembers how Fong also used to call him the same way and thinks about how he hopes he will be reunited with Fong when he hears this name again. It is heartbreaking knowing he is still hung up on Fong. If he opens up to something new, he will soon have someone who will love him unconditionally. Kong Yun coldly tells Chu to stop messing around. Still, the other continues with his comments, telling Kong Yun to call him brother since he is clearly older than him. Chu pokes Kong Yun's cheek, telling him to smile more since he has never seen him smile. Kong Yun pushes Chu's hand away and firmly asks him to stop embarrassing him while at the same time addressing him as Chu directed. Chu smiles happily at being called brother and urges Kong Yun to share if something bothers him. Kong Yun wants to push him away, but his body doesn't cooperate with his mind, and he reveals that he is looking for someone. Chu realizes that Kong Yun's alcohol tolerance is pretty low because of this and asks who he is looking for. Kong Yun replies that he is searching for his very good friend, whom he also likes. Chu further asks how Kong Yun can't find that person if they are good friends. Kong Yun pushes Chu's hand from his shoulder and sadly replies that everyone wants to keep him away from that person and refuses to tell him about his location. He determinedly says that he has to find that person and at least know how they are doing. Chu is confused when Kong Yun suddenly goes silent and asks him if he's okay. Kong Yun looks at Chu and starts to see Fong's face in him. He suddenly holds Chu by the shoulder and asks why he didn't come to find him. Chu replies that he is drunk and breaks from Kong Yun's grasp, saying he will bring lemonade to help him sober up. Chu is moved by the story he just heard but still doesn't want to be someone's replacement. Before Chu can get a chance to get a different drink, Kong Yun stops him and suddenly pulls him closer by his waist. Chu tries to push him away, telling him that Kong Yun got the wrong person. He stops pushing the other away when he notices the pack on the other's chest. He can't help but keep touching him. Get your priorities straight, Chu. Kong Yun tells him to stop touching him and then suddenly pushes Chu. Kong Yun then vulnerably asks him if he will not leave him again.